business services challenge. I think this is one of its kind experience for Shared Services Forum. And of course, we got a great support from CIMA to initiate this challenge. First of all, I'd like to, on behalf of Shared Services Forum, warmly welcome each one of you. My name is Rakesh Sinha. I'm a co-founder for Shared Services Forum. And today I have also another responsibility to be part of the elite panel as a jury panel as well. So I'll be part of it as well. This challenge, as you all who have joined in, pretty much aware of the kind of thought process behind it. The idea was to get the best out of you all in terms of knowledge dissemination, knowledge sharing, how we can step back and reflect and come out with something which is unique and innovative, still bringing a lot of contextual thoughts to the case story which we have. With this, we all started. I think a lot of work has already gone into it. And I must share with you all that at a part of the Shared Services Forum, we feel really proud that the kind of overwhelming response we received for this challenge. We are expecting today more than 1,000 people logging in. We have got 20 odd organizations responding to this challenge. We will have about 18 odd organizations presenting today briefly. And many of you would be aware the process is where they have been shared. We have shared a case story about a finance shared services center with the UK headquarter. The CFO is based out of UK, and some challenges in terms of how they have plateaued in performance, etc., etc. And there were some asks in terms of how can you be innovative about it, and I think you all have created excellent stories, your own strategies, and how those strategies will deliver a strategic impact or a business impact for shared services as well as to the enterprise as a whole. The stories or the presentations were shared with the jury panel. The jury panel has already gone through it and given their individual scoring. The backend team led by Pallavi has compiled those scores. And now today we have this live or what we call grand finale session where we'll have the opportunity to hear from each one of you briefly though. I'm sure each one of us can talk with even 12 slides or 14 slides for hours, but you will have one of the big challenges to summarize your entire story of 12 or 14 slides, which we as a jury panel has already seen it, but you have to really summarize in one slide. I know you have already shared that one slide also with Shared Services Forum team, and from the back end, they will be putting it up when your presentation will be there. So your slide will be up and you can take about 4 minutes of your time to really share, I think, twofold perspectives. I think one is what is really the kind of solution tenets or some solution strategy you are talking about, and what kind of impact you visualize will be there for the enterprise as a whole. Again, repeating it, I think it was very easy for me to say these two questions, but two questions and your 14 slides of effort, now you have to do everything in 4 minutes, is going to be a challenge. And that's a challenge today is all about, right? That's a kind of a challenge. We all be looking at it. And from there, 4 minutes, there will be some a soft buzzer and there'll be a hard buzzer. So there'll be a soft buzzer, and at the end of the soft buzzer, you will be requested to stop talking. You may take 10-15 seconds to wrap up a point if you may have, so it may become 4 minutes 20 seconds or so and so forth. There'll be hard buzzer, and after that anything whatever you say will be really requesting you to stop because it will not be even factored. And also in the interest of the time, we'd like to really move to the next one. The second one is that after that the what we call a very quick summary you present, we will have an opportunity as a jury panel to ask 1 or 2 questions from you. And that is where we have budgeted another 3 to 4 minutes of time, where if any of the jury panelists have a question, we can raise a hand, and the maximum 2 questions. I think, again, the interest of the time, 2 questions. So whoever is the first raising the hand, we can take those 2 questions, and we can go to the next team, and so on and so forth. So that's the pattern which we are going to follow. We will keep it very quick. We'll keep it pretty much back to back. There is a in between, there's a comfort break which is planned for, and towards the end, the scores of both the scoring which is already done basis the presentations which were shared with us, plus the scoring which is going to be done now live, both will be compiled. We will have a 10 minutes of very interesting session towards the end, where my friend and a very we all keep waiting for hearing Sanjay Gupta will be there. He's the Chief Architect, Shared Services Forum. So you'll have a 10 minutes of session to share some insights, thoughts in terms of how to look at this entire case stories, and some top-end thoughts and the points he will share. And that time, the backend team will be doing all these compilations, finally closing the what we call winners, the 1, 2, and 3. And that's also the time when there will be a live audience vote which will happen, where you all will be requested to select from your point of view the best team, and basis that vote, that's a 4th and which is a separate award which will be there for the audience choice award, as a part of this entire thing. So there's a winner, runner-up, first runner-up, and then there's a audience choice which will be also as a part of the selection. All will be announced at the end of this session. Some simple rules. We would request all the attendees to keep themselves on mute. Make sure their video is also on off mode. Only the organization which is presenting. So if you have, say, organization A, and which is having 5 or 6 people who are part of that organization and a part of that panel to present, you are all requested to please switch on your videos, and whoever is the lead presenter can unmute, and so on and so forth. We request as much as technical glitches can be avoided, so that we save that even that 30 seconds or 1 minute, and so on and so forth. So be as quick and smooth as possible in this entire virtual challenge. That's all from my side. And I think there is a raising hand feature which is available. From the audience point of view, they will not have much of the Q&A to do. I think we have gone more in terms of alphabetical order to look at the teams. Having said that, I think we'll request each one of us, even though if an alphabetically we may get after half an hour or 45 minutes our opportunity, it will help in terms of continuing to be part of it, because you may opt to vote while you like to be loyal to your organization. I'm sure some of you joining for your respective organization, but we have a lot of attendees who are from organizations beyond the participating organizations. In fact, I have been just given some pages to understand that we have got about 60% audience, which is beyond the participating organization, and hence it will be interesting to see how we can look at the audience vote. I think with this, I think we will progress with or initiate with the presentations now. There is a timer which is with the room which I'm sitting right now. Actually, there's a TV here, and there's a timer which Pallavi is controlling, and she was showing me the timer that we have to stick to the timer. And there's a soft buzzer and a hard buzzer, as I talked about. So we will be, from the back end playing that soft buzzer and a hard buzzer. Right now we are at 3:01 from our clock, and we are just going to start it. And the backend will keep announcing the name of the company which has to come and present, and she will be at the back end, and her team will be able to put up that one pager or that one slide which you need to talk through. So be ready with your elevator pitch to talk through, and all the best to each of the participants, and look forward to a great session in the next few hours. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakesh. Can I request Team ABB to switch on their videos and audios? Welcome, Team ABB.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
I think, Pallavi, we're just waiting for the slides still to be projected. I know the first one, we are having some 30-second extra. So once you put this slide on the slideshow mode, I think that's where the time starts. Right. Okay. So time starts now for ABB. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon to esteemed members of the jury, my co-participants, audience, the fellow other company participants, as well as the Shared Services Forum team. On behalf of the Pune Center, we bring this proposal for review and approval. At a high level, our proposal is to consolidate, finance, and start value-added services touching almost all aspects of the company. We expect our savings to accrue mainly on 3 counts. One, higher value realization and faster, I will call it as conversion of receivables to cash due to focus on end-to-end order to cash. We expect reduction in operational cost, not just the overheads cost, due to focus on end-to-end procure to pay process, and also reduction in overall cost of finance operation due to consolidation of the center. The value-added services will definitely allow the business and operational leaders to focus on their core areas while we join them to co-create value. Consolidating finance will automatically help. The current portfolio of services will automatically help to lay a strong foundation for these value-added services. The finance, which is split between the Pune Center and headquarters, consolidation will again help us to tap the full potential for automation and maybe the introduction of the new age technologies like machine learning and artificial intelligence. On the people front, we definitely are conscious that we will identify the resources in UK whose work will get transitioned and perhaps offer them a retention plan, so that if they stay on till the end of the project, then we definitely are going to see a success. The plan is going to be quite attractive for them, and there is a budgetary allocation of 2.5 million pounds, British pounds, towards that. Similarly, for the team at the center, we intend to deploy I will call it as domain learning, skill matrix to enable people to reskill, and perhaps those who are interested to laterally move into the new roles that we are creating. For the new roles, we would first look internally and then go externally. So there will be cases where people might have compromised and taken up a job because of lack of opportunities. We will give them a chance to thrive in the new environment. There will also be opportunity for business personnel for a short-term assignment, long-term assignment at the center. On the project front, we have envisaged a steering committee, which has equal representation from the business, so that and there is going to be I will call it as a joint effort to reach our goal. Once we are operationalizing the services, we will have extensive voice of the customer, engagement with employees, engagement with customers, business, who is going to be primarily be our customer. Definitely, there will be we envisage continuous, I will call it as a review and scope alignment. On the business continuity front, we envisage a hybrid way of working, where we will have blend of people working from the center as well as working remote, so that at any given point in time, because we are focusing on too much of work in one center, we need to ensure that the operations continue and the business stoppage doesn't happen. Overall, I would like to, say that, we would like to conclude our submission by focusing on that we are requesting for permission to convert our transactional center into a center of excellence, that is a capability and innovation center. it would involve building up capacity, which will add value to the company on a sustainable basis. And we intend to convert this into a brand within the company, wherein, in UK, if somebody were to say, I'm traveling to India, they will say, you must visit our center in Pune. So we expect it would be like what is Eiffel Tower to Paris, or say Taj Mahal or Statue of Unity for India. When people visit, people say. So with that, we request for an approval of our proposal, but we also thank you for listening into our proposal, and we look forward to taking your queries and hope we'll be able to answer them today.
Thanks, Team ABB. Thanks, Sudhir, for your presentation. I'll request my fellow jury panelists to raise their hands if you have any questions.
Hi, Rakesh. Smriti here. I'm sorry, I can't seem to see the raise hand feature. So
on the bottom.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be there, at least for me. I'll check that again.
Oh, no worries, Smriti, go ahead.
You go ahead, please.
Thanks, Sudhir, for a very concise presentation. Just wanted to understand a little more on how will you create ownership where all this change is happening? And what is the communication plan to create that ownership and introduce the change?
On receipt of the board, definitely we as the management team at Pune, we have already earmarked in terms of who is going to take up each of these verticals. There are definitely new verticals where we would be the initial owners, and then we would like to hire first the person who will be heading each of these verticals. That would be on the project delivery side. And on the, the personnel side, UK, of course, we will be working closely with both our HR business partners locally as well as in the UK, because my primary interest is what upon board approval, we need to first secure the continuity of employees in UK, because the new services we can always start, but safeguarding availability of people for knowledge transition till the time the project succeeds. So that would be my the way forward recommended.
Thanks, Sudhir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I have one question for the team. This is about the given information that the corporate CFO is inclined to look at outsourcing some of the transactional work to a Bangalore-based firm. How have you dealt with that input in your entire strategy formation and presentation?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Anand. In fact, we have focused on the fact that for building a capability center touching all the business areas, the current portfolio is a core basic foundation. So we would like to evaluate, definitely the CFO will definitely be coming back saying, what about my proposal? That the number of FTEs that is proposed to be outsourced, the value accretion to the company is very little compared to the value generated by the capability center. So we would like to be showcasing the cumulative value add and the future potential versus the small value that will accrue by outsourcing the 260 FTEs at the current center. We deliberately avoided putting that as a comparative because we would like to go the positive way of selling to the CFO rather than outright negating his views. It has to come from the CFO. Yes, I would like to see the value, then get a small advantage by moving this 260 FTEs to an external. We would like to go the positive denial to come from the CFO than we denying it, sir.
Okay.
Thanks, Team ABB for the great presentation and the efforts and responding to the two questions from the jury. We will move to the next one.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. And let your team vote, Sudhir.
Absolutely, we'll be there till the end.
Sure. The next team is Team ABEX, which is Adani Group. Can we have a
yeah, this is Shashank, and the entire team is sitting along with me.
Right. So can we have the slides from the back end, please? Put this on a slideshow, please. Your time starts now.
Yeah, so starting with the pretext of the given the current situation and the case study, the overall program starts with a range of phases, which starts with defining and measuring the elements, and which will ultimately translate into different strategic and operational development and implementation plans, basically, and it will run through the period of 2 years. And ultimately, it will become a way of life for the organization rather than being just a one-time program. Right. So at a onset, I would say that we have concentrated on building the capabilities rather than doing away with the costs. Right. So this is very important for our entire solution that I'll be presenting here. And people, so our core drivers are the people, processes, and the technology. Now people take the core of this entire solution, because everything revolves around people, who will be enhanced with the help of new technologies that are brought in and the new processes that will be imbibed into the Financial Services Center. Now, with the capability building programs running across within the India organization, plus providing them the opportunities to go around different business area, which will include the head office operations or the business operations. So moving them around, not just constraining them to the Indian locations, but learning the business in and out, so that they're just not of back office operations. They're also a partner to the business in terms of providing support on ground and offline as well. So in terms of analytics, or in terms of market researches, or in terms of any kind of strategic thought that business has for future or the current implementations. Now, moving ahead to the processes, the main objective to start here is that first we need to make the processes lean and robust in itself, and eliminate anything which is not adding value to the teams existing in today's environment. Now, looking at that, we also look at outsourcing certain transactional or non-judgmental work, which can create internal capacity within the teams without letting them go, who can be absorbed for the future growth potential of the organization as a whole, by bringing which will be through bringing in new processes from the head offices, and also some certain business analytics that will be learned on the way to on this journey ahead. And apart from the core businesses, I would also add that building beyond the F&A or the business processes, like foraying into the areas of HR, secretarial work, this supply chain, master data handling on a central location. So that will be a core to our design. And gradually they will evolve into a innovation center, a center of expertise, which will have the capability to train people across the globe. And in kind of in another word, I can say that it can become an incubation center for the entire organization as a whole, which can supply manpower across. And in terms of people, they will have opportunities to work globally, be co-located with the businesses, co-locate with the head office environment. And that will also motivate the people so that they have opportunity to grow horizontally and vertically. And when I move to technology, the technology in today's world is like, I think, the core to any kind of a sustainable future in terms of processes or in terms of business as a whole, right? So obviously the organization will not stick to the business span it has today. It will obviously grow, right? And handling that growth along with technology and robust processes becomes the essence. Now, making the ERP a core system which can connect to all the business and non-business elements of the organization, and which is capable of connecting to the outside world in terms of the worldwide, the digital universe, I would say, in a short word. So, which will help in connecting to the different communities, different models. Yeah, and I think technology becomes the core, and here I would just rest my proposal, and I'll leave the forum open for the questions.
Thanks, Shashank, for your presentation. I think fairly well covered, but I think you are up on the time. So it's jury's turn to seek any responses. I can see Rohit raising the hand. So Rohit, you may go first.
Thank you, Rakesh. So one of the questions I have for the team is, with such mammoth technology changes, do you think 18 months is sufficient practically?
See, 18 months is a period where you're right that it is not sufficient, but the plan that we are putting across is, number one, delivering short-term immediate benefits, and plus an environment which will sustain across. Now, the core will be, the foundation will be laid here, right? But it will deliver it will become a genetic upgrade for the organization as such. So it will be an ongoing benefit which will be delivered. The cost period may be this 2 years period, but the benefit will go beyond and much beyond the 2-year period.
Thank you, Shashank.
Yes, Praveen, Mr. Purang, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a small question. Can we have your comments on retention or exiting of the manpower and reskilling of the manpower, looking at the technological changes and the process changing that would take place in a very, very wide manner?
Sorry, I could not get your question clearly. Can you repeat your question? Sorry.
See, you are going to have your technologies changing, your processes would change, and which means your existing manpower.
Yes.
You will have to work out strategies for their either retention or exiting or reskilling. How will you be doing that? Or what are your thoughts, comments onto that, so that you come out as a winner rather than losing out there?
Yeah. So first of all, the exiting of the existing workforce is not the idea that we're going with. It is more of a upskilling them through a structured development and capability program, and which will run not only on one location, which is India, but it will go beyond that, where we need to train people. They have to be sent across to the businesses as well and to the head offices as well. And it will be structured, monitored, and a holistic program that will help them upskill in their financial domain knowledge, as well as business knowledge and regulatory knowledges, which is required to work across different geographies.
Thank you.
Great, thanks, Shashank. Anand, you have a quick point?
Not a question, really a very quick point.
To go. Yeah,
really a very quick point. I wanted to see the team ABEX. I think, I'm not sure whether everybody is available on the video.
Hey, Anand, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, 3 of you are together. Okay.
Yeah. We are in one room only, Anand.
Oh, excellent. And I saw Digesh. Yeah,
Digesh is also here. Hey, Rakesh, how are you?
Only one person is missing because he just tested positive for malaria.
Oh, you tested positive for other things also. Wow. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thanks. I think the time really is up now.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shashank and Sudesh and everybody here from a team Apex. Thank you and all the best to you. I'm sure your team will continue to keep voting. Once the link will be available to you to vote. We'll move to the next team, which is Team ACE, which is Airtel Center of Excellence. Do we have Airtel team on the call? If they can switch on their videos, please. Hi, Karthik. Please put the slide on slideshow. Yes. Your time starts now. Over to you, Karthik.
Vikas from my team will be presenting it.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Vikas here. So we have gone into the detailed study and come out with the detailed plan that how we are going to do the activities in next 2 years. So we have chalked out our plan based on the 4 pillars, which are one will be customer engagement, how we are engaging with the customer. In this case, is head office, and then we will spend time on the employee engagement, that what activities can be done to take care of the employees. And then third lever will be the process automation, that how much and how we can do the process automation to eliminate the wastage, or to fasten up the tracks on which we will be working. And the fourth lever where we will spend time is the new scope for the shared services, that other functions, how do we migrate the other functions other than finance into the shared services. So these will be the broadly the 4 pillars on which we will work and do the corrections required for the next 24 months. So if I talk about in the detail, then to start with, in the first 3 months, we will spend time in the improving engagement between the head office, which as per the business case study seems to be lacking between the head office and the shared services. So it looks like there is a depth, the business partnering angle, or that process is not working well. So we will spend time or do the correction from by doing more business partnering and having a continuous engagement with the head office. And then we will explore the automation opportunity, that how we can do away with the certain processes and automate them so that we can release some FTs. Then we will work on the employees survey. We'll do the employee survey and do some benchmarking, that where they are fitting, so that the cross functioning movement between head office, shared services and cross functional can be done. We will upskill them and do the job rotation and do the enrichment on their jobs by rotating them and moving them to cross functional. And once we will ready by this basic data in the place, then we will start the automation and start reaping the benefit of the automation to relieve the FTs which we are planning. So we are planning roughly some 35-40% FTs out of if we talk about 260 total, so roughly 100 FTs, how we can do away with the 100 FTs. That should be the plan, and we will work on the automation and the process corrections. And then we will spend some time to evaluate the employees also, that how we can best fitted them into the cross functional and the different geographies, and between head office and shared services, how we can make them agile and make them movement free for their upskilling, and so that they feel job enriched. Because as per the study, it shows that the attrition rate and is very high. So that to touch upon that key issue, we are saying that we will do the job rotation and upskill their skills. And then after the when we'll enter the third phase, then the productivity flow through will start coming in, and we will see the reduction in the FTs coming through automation and other process simplification. And then we will align the head office scope with the head office also, so that whatever disconnects were there between shared service and head office, that will get sorted through the periodic engagement. And then we'll start the migration processes also from the shared services. And then it will become a recurring line, the nurturing of the employees and migration of the processes. That will become recurring activities. After every 3 months, we will find out the inefficiencies and the process which needs to be eliminated. Then we will work on those processes, how that we can eliminate and get the reduction of the employees, and then make the engagement more productive between center and circle by doing more business partnering and understanding the requirements of CFO and other team members who are there in the head office. So, and then we will keep on doing the survey.
Sorry, we'll have to interject. Sorry, Vikas, we'll have to interject. I think the second budget has also gone up. So I think The request is after the first buzzer, if somebody is presenting and wants to wrap up, so they are given another 45 seconds to complete it. After second buzzer, we will be we'll have to interject.
Yeah, I'm done. Most of the things I have covered. So
thanks, but I think we have, yeah, absolutely. I think you covered quite a bit of it. I think now it's time for a Zuri question. So I will first request my fellow panelists, if they have a question, they can raise their hand and I can take it.
Hi, Vikas. Thanks for a nice presentation. Do you see any value or do you have a fix on the number in terms of saving through this process of changing the center into a capability center?
yeah, so we are looking at a productivity. If you talk about the count, we are looking at roughly 35 to 40%, which is a reduction of say 100 FTEs out of 260. And then based on that, the saving, if you take about the salary per employee into the consideration, that will be 40,000 rupees. And per annum, we will be looking into the 40,000 to annual benefit of some 9 crores coming out of that. So that if we do away with the 40% manpower, that will result into approximately 9 to 10 crores of the savings.
Thanks, Vikas. Thank you.
Yeah, Rohit, go ahead.
The follow-up question, Vikas, is while you're aiming at reduction with 40%, so when you're going to do the employee engagement, at one hand, you're trying to engage with the employees to increase productivity, retention, and everything. But in parallel, you're talking of automation and letting go of 40% of your workforce. How would you balance the two, considering the investment you'll make in the first will erode when you start your phasing out or lay out the plan that this automation will result in 40% reduction?
Karthik, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. No.
Rakesh, we should move on then.
Yeah, we can hear you now. No, it's again, we can't hear you. And anybody else can hear? Rohit, can you hear Karthik?
No, I can't hear.
We are not able to hear you.
Able to hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, Karthik, go ahead.
Yes, now. So hi Rohit, I'll take the call. I'll take this question. One is about immediate attention on how to keep the team intact and to understand what are their aspirations. Second is on the long term. Once we start engaging with the team, we will also have an understanding of who are all the pillars, who are the essential one, and who are probably okay if they get a good opportunity outside and move out. So while we have a principle of not voluntarily letting go of anyone, but a natural attrition is also supposed to happen. And our objective is to use that when we get into a productivity mode and use the automation tools so that we start seeing the benefit by then. So it's a fine balance which anyone needs to be done. Anyone needs to do when you have a target of bringing in efficiency as well as at the same time ensuring that the top guys are with you.
Thank you.
Thanks, the team S and Karthik and your team. I think well responded to some of the questions, and all the best to you as part of this session. And keep voting from your team as well. With this, we'll move to the next team, which is Every Dennison. If team Every Dennison is there, they can switch on their videos.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, good evening.
Hi, Satyadev. So, Satyadev, you are going to lead the conversation?
Yeah.
Can we have the slide for Every Dennison, please? Slideshow mode. Your time starts now, Satyadev.
So thank you, Rakesh, and good evening, respected panelists and all the participants. At the outset, every Denizen team would like to thank SSF Forum for organizing this contest, wherein we can share our ideas and learn ideas of eminent speakers also. So when we have gone through the challenge, we found that there is a common mindset that SSC is a cost center and we should outsource these activities unless there is a transformational change which can convert it into a capability center. So in the way of conversion, we have focused on three major areas. That is how we can get more by using less resources, how we can contribute into other revenue generating activities. Till now, we are focusing on the bottom line of the P&L and we are shifting the focus to the top line. And how we can do what we can do for the employee engagement and training. So coming to the first part, how we can get more by using less resources. So we all know that in today there is no chance one can survive without with a constant space, and the same is applicable for SSC also. SSC also has to change their working pattern and taking new areas of roles and responsibilities. So we have decided to use advanced technologies such as RPA and other accounting receivable and payable portal, which can minimize our clerical and day-to-day work, and which can help us to prepare reports for analysis and expedite the process also. So using that adoption of technology will not only reduce the cost, but also enhance the speed, accuracy, and efficiency in the process. Now, this is the technology part, but after the adoption of this technology, there are many headcount which will be reduced. So how we can use that resources in new areas. So for contributing in the revenue generating activities, we have decided to work on the two new areas, which is very vital for any organization to fight with the competition. First is customer centricity, and second is brand awareness and digital marketing. So directly or indirectly, finance function is already playing a vital role in revenue generation. What we are trying to do is to expand the base of that activity by including these areas of work. So how customer centricity will help us? A study shows that 1 in 3 customers will leave a brand they love after having only one bad experience. So this is the importance of customer centricity. Customer centricity approach will remove the friction between the customer and the organization, which helps to solve the problems and meet the customer needs in a unique ways. Then it motivates people to recommend our brand. And a customer centricity philosophy can reduce the customer acquisition cost also. When we are opening a new customer, we have to give them free sample, new schemes, free credit, a lot of things are there which can be reduced. Then it will give a database and report for both to analyze and help them. It will also give an idea on the set of SKUs which we are selling and which we should sell to generate higher profit. Coming to the third point, digital marketing and brand awareness. A crucial foundation to eventually acquire customers is brand awareness. If people know your brand, they become familiar and comfortable with it. It will help us to increase our product price also. A water bottle is selling at 20 rupees. In the same area, a different outlet, it may get sold at 200 rupees. This is the power of the brand, which now the SSC will create for the company, and it will also increase the market share and sales with an improved brand perception. It will acquire audience data as well. So with the help of advanced technologies and new areas of work, that is brand awareness, customer centricity, we are expecting an addition in the net profit by 13 crore from 2025. And for employee retention rate, we are not retrenching any employee of SSC India. We are going to absorb them in brand awareness, customer centricity, and digital marketing activity, which is going to make the SSO of cost free. It will be a revenue generating unit instead of a cost unit. So all of them will be in, and for these new areas, they will be well groomed, trained, and based on their interest, ability, and area of work, they will be absorbed in the respective department under the leadership of respective persons. So this is how we are going to convert our SSC from a cost center to a capability center, which is, and in future also,
Sorry,
they will.
I think second brother is on.
Yes, thank you. I have also done, Rakesh.
Yeah. Thanks. So I request my fellow panelists, if you have a question, you can let me know. Any questions from any fellow? Yeah, Rohit, if you have a question.
Thank you, Satyadev sir. On your redeployment of individuals for digital marketing and brand awareness, how I understand, the new capability center will still be captive. They will continue to work for the UK company. So where exactly are you investing this brand awareness in digital marketing? Because how I understand, this center is not gonna do third-party services.
No, right. So this is not going to third-party services. This center will work, and this brand awareness and customer creative centricity will be a part of it. And this team will help the organization to create its brand into the market, to get in touch with the customer, to gain the confidence of the customer, to retain them, to assist them in case of any issues. So by this way, customer will also get confidence on the company. See, in today's scenario, quality is not the only thing which can make a company unique. After sales service is most important. And what we are trying is to focus on that area also, which can help us to retain our customer and gain new customers. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So they have a quick question from me as a follow through, more on the customer centricity piece, because your entire strategy pretty much pivots around the customer centricity. How do you define your customer? Who is your customer?
Our customers are the end users who are consuming our product. For example, say about we are selling we are an automobile company, then our customer is the person who is using our product, and we should have to be in contact with them to get their feedback, their desire, what they are expecting from us, what kind of changes we have to do, and what kind of service level they are expecting. That we are focusing on the customer centricity.
Sure. Mr. Purang, your question, please. We still have 45 more seconds to go, so you can have a brief question and a response.
I'll just take a couple of seconds. You have mentioned in your presentation that there'll be no employee who will be sacked and they all will be reskilled, etc. Employee engagement and training would take place. But while mentioning the impact on the enterprise, you are talking about cost reduction, headcount realignment, etc., and moving from cost to capability center. How will you achieve all these? Because they are sometimes contrary to each other.
Right. So now SSC has two verticals. One is which is doing the AR, AP, payroll procurement part. With the adoption of technology, that work will be done by almost 60-70% of the people. The 30 or 35% people which are released from this work will be deployed in the new areas. So what we are incurring, whatever cost we are incurring for the same activity, with a reduced cost, we are doing the same job, and we are also doing an additional activity which will also generate revenue. So cost reduction is there because we are shifting the manpower from the core areas of accounting to revenue generation activities, and there is also addition in the top line. So that's why we have mentioned that cost reduction and speed and accuracy will be there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Satyadev and every Dennison team. It was interesting thought process, and thanks for sharing that. I look forward to your team continuing to be there on the session. With this, we'll move to the next team, which is team Bear, Monsanto Holdings. Can we have them on the video, please?
Yes. Hi, Rakesh, Shanta here.
Hi, Shanta.
And I also have my.
Okay.
We'll wait for the slide to come up.
Yes, just putting in a slideshow. Okay, I think there's some animation. If backend can just click the entire slide at one go and keep it there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we can't.
Thank you.
Sorry, just make sure. Perfect, thanks. Shanta, your time starts now.
Thanks, Rakesh. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shanta Nair, and along with me are my team, Jayashree, Gayatri, and Sunil. We are representing Bio Shared Service Center in Bangalore. Before I start talking about the significant points from the slide that's presented, I would like to mention the business case that we have here. We're talking about exploring the Financial Shared Service Center in Pune to do more complex and business critical tasks in the financial accounting, taxes, budgeting, reporting area. The average annual salary of an accountant in the UK is 50 to 60,000 pounds per annum, which is 5 to 6 times more than that of an accountant in India, who draws on an average 10 to 12,000 pounds per annum. So here we have a simple and clear business case. If we were to lift and shift the activities performed by approximately 90 employees that we have in our UK head office and move these to the Pune Shared Service Center, we will certainly need a budget to scale up in Pune. Approximately 35% of the existing cost is the additional budget that we're expecting. But as the transition phase comes to an end, and once everything becomes operational in Pune, the payback is immediately expected. Now, moving over to the strategy, we begin with scoping and skill assessment. We have identified some mundane tasks such as maybe scanning or some parts of payroll activities, the assumption that we took being performed by FSSC in Pune. We believe these can be outsourced to third-party vendors who offer high quality service at very competitive prices. We could then do some internal movements in the center and look at freeing up some capacity for transformation and transition projects. Then we work towards setting up a strong and robust governance model that encompasses stakeholder, technology, and our people. For improving stakeholder experience, we need to have a mechanism or a pattern in place whereby we are able to identify our stakeholders all the time, both internal and external, ensure constant engagement, seek feedback, and also have a benchmarking exercise in place that we do at regular intervals to review our performance with that in the industry in terms of our key performance indicators, our cost effectiveness, and our digital or technology application in business. Now that we are talking about technology, we all know the availability of tools and softwares that simplify business processes is immense in India. And hence we propose to build an in-house team that helps us in transforming the shared service center to be digitally capable. We propose to set up a capability enabling function, which will comprise of teams such as Center of Excellence, Lean, Management and Innovation, and business application support, and also a change and learning team. And finally, last but not the least, people who will keep the transformation. We will look at upskilling our existing workforce, reviewing our hiring practices to attract talent from cities across India and not just Pune. Focus will be on employee wellness, engagement, and development. Now, to quickly talk about the impact that we expect from this, first one, of course, excellent stakeholder experiences that we're expecting. We will be able to provide meaningful metrics that will help business in decision making, as in FSSC, we will have a wide variety of processes. We have end-to-end process knowledge. There will be career opportunities in the FSSC, attracting talent, also helping in talent retention. And finally, yes, efficiencies and savings that we expect to come from the lean processes that we will put in place. With this, I would like to end by saying that we are willing to transform and continuously evolve to meet the organizational needs. Thank you.
Very well done, Shanta. You were pretty much on time. So before even the buzzer could go, you finish your presentation.
Thank you, Rakesh.
With this, I request the other jury members to, if you have a question, they can ask the question or they raise their hand.
Hi, Shanta. Thank you for a very nice presentation.
Hi, Smriti.
Hi. So what do you see as the timeline for making all these changes?
The timeline, the roadmap that I've set up in place, of course, the case had 18 to 24 months. So pretty much at the same time that we are expecting. The initial 6 to 9 months would go on planning, scoping, designing, and beginning the transition. The next 6 months would be around transition, and of course the last 3 to 4 months would be around hypercare and ensuring stability in the process. So pretty much 24 months is would be sufficient for us to have the entire transformation, Smriti.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Any other question? I can just ask a quick question, Shanta, here, in terms of looking at the entire case. As you will remember, had two specific challenges. One is the FSSC is plateauing, and hence the confidence of headquarters is very limited on the FSC in terms of they can do any high-end work, right? And they are contemplating to even outsource. So how you propose to address to build that confidence, or even comparing with or comparing with a typical outsourcing thought which the headquarters were having?
Sure. Thanks for the question, Rakesh. First of all, in terms of the confidence, in terms of whether FSSC will be able to do more complex jobs, the existing talent that we have been hired to meet the required processes, which are more transactional in nature. But of course, here I would like to put up the talent pool that we have in India. And the top 6 cities in India, where Pune comes 6th in number. So that certainly shows that we do have talent externally. So as part of our plan, we will have to certainly hire external talent. At the same time, also upskill our existing workforce to make them competent enough to do more complex jobs. In terms of outsourcing, that is also something we would want to consider, not to rule out the outsourcing idea. I do agree, as an organization, for certain mundane or very basic activities which can be outsourced, and we have better vendors in the market at competitive prices, we could certainly look at outsourcing mundane tasks or routine tasks where even the career progression of an employee is limited, and basic skill set is only required. So it would be a combined approach. Our focus would be on the core competencies, which would be focused on highly skilled and expertise job or analytical jobs, and more of data entry is something that we could look at outsourcing, Rakesh.
Sure.
So, Shanta, can you also give a couple of very tangible, relevant examples where you would be doing the corporate value creation?
Corporate value creation, sure, certainly, Anand. So here I would want to talk again about the capability enabling function that I propose as an organization, as a team. We propose to set up additional teams which would support our operations, such as the Center of Excellence or Business Application Support and the Lean Management Innovation. So these teams would be a support function to our operations to enable us to have excellence in what we do, help all the teams collaborate better. And the Lean Management Innovation would be where we will work towards efficiencies and savings, provide meaningful reports and dashboards, let's say, to the business, that will help them in making better decision making. So simple examples would be if we have end-to-end dashboards on S2P process, or something around record to report, let's say revenue accounting. We're talking about revenue recognition, the number of let's say sales reversals that we're having at every month end. In these areas, our Center of Excellence and our Lean Management Innovation teams, if they come together and help the operations team to provide interesting reports for the business, that's where I would think we'll be able to create value to the business.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Shanta. I think, and thanks the Bayer team for your presentation. It was nice to hear your thoughts. All the best to you as we progress with the next one. The next team is Team Barcadia Services. Can we have the Team Barcadia on the screen, please? And who is going to lead the presentation? Is it Vishal, you, or Jitendra? You will be presentation. Can we get the slide for the career slideshow? Thanks. Jitendra, your time starts now.
Hi, good afternoon all. We are Team Berkadia, and we are here to present our vision and strategy of the FSSC. Strategists often get intrigued by two common guardrails. First, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And second, a strategy is good or bad only in the hindsight. And this happens a lot if strategy is not realistic and holistic enough to be executed, and we leave the outcomes to luck. With these two principles in mind, we recommend the leadership to embark on a multi-year transformation journey, which we are naming as Project LEAF. LEAF stands for Leadership in Finance, to transform the FSSC from a cost center to a global capability center, and in this process, deliver three key results. First, improve efficiency of the current processes by at least 50%. Second, enable cost savings of up to £5 million per year. And third, improve top talent retention from 75% to 90%. Now I invite my colleague Ashish to share the details of this journey strategy.
Thanks, Jitendra, and good afternoon, everyone. The transformation will be carried out by laying a strong cultural foundation, as part of which the FSSC leadership will play an active role in communicating the vision to employees and getting them on board. In parallel, the communication and brand team will work on rebranding FSSC to Global Finance Innovation Center. The leadership team will also create channels for more cross-border interaction and collaboration to help employees get more integrated with the business. And along the way, success stories will be broadcast periodically to institute a positive reinforcement loop. On top of this strong cultural foundation, the transformation will be carried on two strong pillars of people and technology. On people front, targeted trainings will be conducted to build a new domain skills, which will be supplemented by select lateral hiring to infuse new skills and perspectives in the team. And important initiatives in the people function will be to lay out clear career paths during and post the transformation journey to retain top talent. On technology front, new technology platforms will be set up to provide business teams with powerful analytics, which can enable them in taking efficient decisions. Collaboration with current technology partners will be enhanced to jointly innovate in customizing the platforms to meet the ever-evolving business needs. With these solid foundation and pillars, the team can start laying down the bricks to realize the objective in three key phases. In phase 0, the efficiency of current processes, such as expense management and reimbursements, can be improved through robotic process automation. This increased efficiency will allow the team to focus on data analysis and offering critical insights to the businesses. Subsequently, in phase 1, the team will work towards building new capabilities in the team through talent acquisition and training. Complex processes with manageable risks, such as FP&A, budgeting, and reporting, can be transitioned to FSSC in a controlled manner, which can be scaled to full transition over time. This will also open new opportunities for the team in terms of career progression. Finally, in phase 2, we will focus on being more globally aligned and relevant by capitalizing the capability building that happened in phase 1. Offshoring complex roles of treasury and taxation with laser focus on simplification and value enhancement will lead to increased ownership and empowerment. This will enable finance team to connect with a broader career path and improve job satisfaction, leading to centers' enhanced ability to retain top talent while delivering significantly higher value to the organization. Thank you, and Vishal from our team will address questions from the jury.
Thanks, Jitendra and Ashish, for your presentation. I think we're just about to get the buzzer and you finished on dot, so well done. So questions from request any jury member if you have a question. Certainly I have one, but I just want to check with my...
You go ahead, Rakesh.
Okay. I think one quick question here is for the team Berkadia. You know, as you would have seen in the case story again, the context was that the center has plateaued. They have done what they could have done. Now, your opening point in terms of when you're saying that further improve the efficiencies by 50%. So are you saying that that's a first step they have to do to further do the efficiencies and then only go back and talk to the CFO in UK? How are you looking at that aspect of winning the confidence back of the CFO? Just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Thanks for the question, Rakesh. So the current thing, or the first and foremost thing we are instilling in our existing teams is confidence, and they can do more. We're also instilling by telling them the example that, boss, what we have here in Pune is a Ferrari, and you're actually driving that Ferrari just on the second gear. By that, what I mean is the kind of processes which we are currently using in Pune are not optimally used. They're not collaborating at that level, which ideally a globally aligned team should be collaborating at. They want to do more, and which is one of the key reasons as to why attritions is happening and people in the finance are not seeing more values and the high-end jobs to be done within the finance. And we want to instill that by training them more and proving it to our partners in the UK, saying this is the team which is now ready to embark on this transformation journey.
Sure. Thanks. Thank you for your response. Yes, Rohit, go ahead.
Thanks, Rakesh. The question I have is more around how it is being suggested that there will be implementation of RPA and Concur and Pega and other modules, which will help build the capability for the current processes. On the flip side, we are saying that we can do more from a people's point of view, but mere collaboration is required to take that step forward. So how is the team focusing on change management? Because that would be a key driver in the phase 0 itself.
Absolutely, very relevant. And while we thought through that as the key enabler for the transformation, and that's why we thought that people and technology collectively are the pillars for this big initiative we have. If we don't use it, we lose it, right? So it is given in the problem statement that we have a very effective workflow tool, but how are we currently using it? There is a lot of bureaucracy in the system, and we exactly want to cut down that bureaucracy. And one of the examples that we gave in our previous presentation was in phase 0 itself, we'll achieve a $1 billion worth of £1 billion worth of save through a simple thing in procurement called the early payment discount. So because it takes a lot of time in approving and it goes through multiple channels and approvals, we are losing out on that benefit. So make people aware of how to use the existing processes better was our key focus. And once they realize that, and once they taste the success, they want to do more. And that's when we'll bring in the RPA and to enhance that feeling more. And then they're ready to go out and do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vishal and Team Bakaria. I think it was nice hearing from you and your thought process. All the best to you as we progress.
Thank you.
We will move to the next team now. This team is Team Flipkart. Do we have leaders from Flipkart?
Yes. Allow me to start my video.
Yeah. If you can allow us to start the video.
Sure. Sudeep.
Yeah, this is Sudeep. And I have Prateek along with me, and then Saurabh and other team members. We want to start our video, but unable to do that.
1 second. I think, can we request the backend to please check? Can you just try unmute?
Just try.
Yeah, it says you cannot start because the host has stopped it.
Okay, you can try it once again because I think there is. Just give me a second. We'll just check with the host. Host, can you just please confirm if you have?
Yes, mine has come up. Prateek, please check yours.
Not happening still.
It was working for you. We could see you.
Yes, it's there now. Just one sec. Am I visible and audible?
Yes, we can see you and Sudeep both. Fine.
Great.
Can we have the slide, please, on the screen for Flipkart? Slideshow board. Yeah, thank you. So your time starts now, Sudeep.
Okay, Prateek will lead the conversation today.
Thank you so much, everyone, for this opportunity. And this is Pratik Palod representing the team Flipkart. We have named this project as CC to BCC, which is Cost Center to Business Capability Center. Here, we are proposing a 3D solution so as to achieve the 4D impact. Here we are saying, in order to implement this 3D solution, the FSSC team has to first rationalize its own bandwidth. And how do they do that? They have to first identify the redundant, repetitive, and non-value-added activities and churn those out through either automation or through outsourcing. And once they do that, the saved bandwidth can be put into these three pillars. What are those? Revenue assurance, cost management, and revenue generation, which is a very unique idea. We'll come to that. So revenue assurance through BI and AI tools and insights or analytics of the huge amount of data and information that we sit with, we can help the business identify the demand patterns of the products that we currently have and also the future products that the market is expecting so as to be ahead of the market, and controls around the sales returns that happen, the credits that we extend to the customers, and the debts that we have, which may or may not turn out to be bad debts. Coming to the cost management, we will have real-time data mining and the BI, which will help understand, read, and present the costs, values, and the pricing impact along with the seasonal waves of conversion cost so that we can control it far better. And also at the same time, optimize the supply chain costs, the inventory cost, wastages control, etc., etc. The revenue generation is where we are saying that with our own capabilities, we will have a scalable and modular pack of accounting to reporting, which we will be able to monetize. The people outside our business, open in the market, small or large, will be able to buy it and adapt to it and take the benefit. We will be earning out of it. So it will be a parallel stream of revenue. And how does the 4D impact go for us? The employees will feel more engaged and motivated because of the job rotation and career progression we are offering them. The processes will be more stable and efficient because those will be value added and futuristic, smart and integrated, obviously. The business will feel a competitive advantage in the market with the real-time analytics and growth orientation. The management will be better equipped and more decisive and capable because the stakeholders will be informed. We propose this project to be 24 months long with a $19 million of investment in trainings, product development, etc., which will come to a break even in the 21st month. We are aware that a lot of people are involved and a lot of investment is involved. So to mitigate any risks, we will be adaptive in changes. We will have a regular dialogue. Trainings and feedback will continue to and fro. Tracking and fine-tuning will be done on the go. And we will have a backup plan or a fallback plan at each stage or milestone of the project. Plus, the entire project, the entire game plan will be supported by, backed up by an extensive research that we will start with. So that is all that we are to present with. And thank you for the opportunity again, and open for any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time. Entire Flipkart. I think you finished pretty well in the time. I think Rajesh has raised the hand. Rajesh, a question from you.
Yeah, hello, hi. Thank you for sharing your this one. Very good, nice project. I had one question in terms of people. You said that people would be upskilled or redeployed, but in terms of the type of work, if you are outsourcing transactional work, but the work coming in from UK is very high end, do you think it is possible to obtain upskill from transactional to such high end processes?
We have to, thank you for the question. we have to first identify and segregate the activities, which are the high-end activities, which are the repetitive and regular transactional activities. The transactional activities is what we are proposing to outsource, and not just outsource. We are not saying everything has to be outsourced. It can be brought into more automation also, so that there is a bandwidth saving out of it.
So just to add here, Rajesh, and that's exactly what we are trying to do in our current organization also. And what we are trying to do is that we have to, as a shared services, have to focus on what is important for us versus what is required to be done. And we want to carve out all what is repeatable, what is scalable, what is automatable, and what is outsourceable. And we'll do accordingly. I'm not saying there is a cookie cutter approach there. We can have different approaches there. But the idea is to motivate our people and to give them value-added work. We'll focus on things which are more strategic, more complicated, and more value-driven.
Okay, thanks.
Just taking that point forward, the real question here was that if you are freeing up capacity in the routine, mundane, repeatable work, is that workforce capable of being upskilled for the kind of work that you are trying to insource? Or you will have to do a complete churn of the workforce as well? And if yes,
Thank you, sir.
I have your point.
Thank you, sir, for that.
Yeah, Pratik, if you want to take it up, please.
Sure. So it is like every organization or every business unit has different kind of works. So when I'm talking about outsourcing and automating the mundane repetitive activities, there are stages where everybody will be picked up or upskilled to the another stage. So if there are people like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stage, the 4 and 5 stage, the top people will get into this mode of transformation, while the 1, 2, 3 level stage will be, people will be upscaled to the level of 3, 4, 5. So that is how everybody gets to upscale also, everybody gets to get a job rotation also, and there is an overall transformation to the value addition.
And just to add, I understand your question completely. So yes, there can be churn also, but it has to be a mix and match. There are people which need to be replaced probably. There are people who are willing and capable of upscaling themselves. And then probably we have to acquire some talent from the market to cater to specific requirements of the not only of the migration we are trying to do, but the kind of transformation we are trying to bring in the whole organization. Because a lot of it will be digitalization based. And probably in the current set of scenarios, we don't have that kind of a talent. And those capabilities sometimes cannot be even acquired by training and all. You have to be trained in those skills.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sudeep and Pratik, and thanks the team Flipkart. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you very much to you and your team for giving us the opportunity. Happy to be here. Look forward.
Thank you, and all the best. And look forward to have your team continuing to the session and the votes. With this, we'll move to the next team, which is Team Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages. Do we have HCCB team on the call?
Hello, sir.
Hi, Pallavi. Hi, team. Who is going to be the lead from your side?
Yeah, I will be presenting. It's me and Dipali from SCC.
Yes, we have a slide on the screen. So, Pallavi, your time starts now.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. The case study before us is about how to transform a shared service based out of Pune from being a cost center to capability center by taking over various key processes like FP&A, budgeting, or treasury from head office, which is at UK. And we as a shared service in shared service since 2017 and are constantly achieving our targets and have delivered output beyond our KPI across processes. For instance, 95% plus POT has led to better negotiation with vendor. DSO has improved from 10 days to 4 days, leading to cash surplus and better channelization of funds. Better managed inventory led to reduction in DSI and write-offs, ensure better asset utilizations and improvement in ROIC and payback period. And now at FSS, we are ready to transform. transform with FSS version 2.0 vision, transforming cost center to capability center to create or to improve value for future growth opportunity. And for this, our mantra is to create value at each and every process and at each and every step. We have a 3-step approach for this: transaction excellence, business transformation, and enterprise strategic enablement. We would like to approach for this journey with clear roadmap, having operating model for transaction excellence, which include process focus to attain long range business plan by helping stakeholder for better decision support, innovation and digitization to drive business impact with speed and agility, attain maturity and growth by creating proactive insights. Transformation by redesigning, re-engineering, simplifying, and reducing overlap in process, whereby we can achieve upfront productivity of 10% in existing processes. Next approach is to drive our business transformation and to include new process acquisition so that business can focus on core instead of managing transaction. For example, we can create immediate value in treasury by leveraging process like cash flow management and supplier financing, which will bring us increasing incremental cash flow and increase our PBT. Cost optimization through technology enablers and process efficiency, best practice implementation, create quick win, opportunity for growth, stay competitive in marketplace. And also with real-time MIS or report out for strategic decision, we can create enterprise strategic enablement for each of our stakeholders. Then we believe in exceptional stakeholders experience. Thus, we continue to engage with stakeholders by periodic review meeting, open house, and governance call. We are also committed towards our employees and believe in providing best class experience to them by providing growth opportunities, personal development plan, R&R at regular intervals. Before concluding, we would like to draw your attention towards our 2 key enablers to drive growth for shared service, that is technology and productivity. This will help us to achieve best-in-class experience and cost incubator for future, create, grow, and protect value, and winning formula for employee engagement by building capability and talent. In a way, technology, investment, and productivity will go hand in hand, and in a way, FSS will be self-funding the investment going forward in terms of FTE. Thank you all. Thank you for this opportunity. Looking forward to answer if there is any questions around this presentation.
Thanks, Pallavi, for your presentation. I think pretty much completed before the time. I can see Rajesh raising the hand for a question. Rajesh, over to you.
Hello, hi, Pallavi. This is a good presentation. I had one question.
Hello. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So my question is that, why do you think that the high-end processes have not come to the shared service center? And while I see the good story about productivity, what do you think will make the CFO convinced that the Pune center can do the high-end processes, which requires more business partnering and decision support and stuff like that?
Thank you for the question, sir. This is over to Dipali. Dipali, are you there?
Yeah, I'll take up this.
Yes.
So as we are aware that finance shared services started a few years back. So our first motive was to centralize the regular activities and bring a level of stabilization in that activities. So as you are aware that, CFO and everyone has never explored the capabilities, the 2 capabilities of FSS. So in the past, we have delivered and we are continue to deliver. So with that confidence, we are approaching you to take the further activities of the FP&A, treasury, reporting to our finance shared service office. I hope I've given the answer to your question.
Yeah, but in terms of a follow-up, so basically the activities which have come in the past are more transactional, the AR, AP, reconciliation, book close. The activities which are currently in the market or in the head office are more business focused, where a person needs to understand the business of the parent entity to be able to provide business support. I think that is typically the hesitancy, that will the India team understand the business context and do that. So how would you build confidence in the CFO? Because these are high-end processes, and a 10% productivity improvement or a lower cost per FTE might not really excite him to make changes to these core processes.
Rajesh, go on, Dipali.
No, take up.
So Rajesh, Mihi this side. So I'll take up this question. The point you're raising is a valid question, actually. Previously, the shared service center more focused around transactions. However, having said that, in past also, as Pallavi has explained, we have created some of the proactive insight with regard to DSI, inventory management, vendor consolidations. Similarly, payment on time that has led to kind of better negotiation, better credit terms for the company. DSO reductions again that has helped the company in terms of providing insight, help the company in terms of balance sheet hygiene as well as reduction in the bad debt. And with that background, I believe the FSS is ready now to take up the more specialized service. We believe, yes, it is a specialized service, but we believe that with the kind of background that we have, the kind of insight that we have, I believe, we believe that we will able to kind of convince the management in terms of taking the role and successfully, delivering output to the management.
Thank you so much.
I have a simple point to check. In the beginning, you said that you already improved DSO from 10 days to 4 days. That is like a 60% improvement, just on the strength of the essential efficiencies and good transaction processing work. Is that correct? Or did I hear it wrong?
Yes. With good bit of MIS.
No, I was basically confirming is 10 to 4 days is the correct listening.
Yeah, that's the assumption.
This number is not on the slide, so I just checked.
Yeah, that's the assumption that we have taken.
Okay. Thank you. So thanks, Mihir, Dipali, and Pallavi from the
Thank you.
Hindustan Coca-Cola team. I think we had a lot of follow through, and I'm sure we'll still have. And sometimes what happens is we have our own views as well, and we are restricting ourselves as a jury panel member. Oh yes, to add to it, because we can go into another follow up and couple of more questions. So we are just trying to restrict with some questions, hear your thought process, and leave it there in the interest of the time too. So thank you, the team, and all the best to you as we progress through the day. With this, we will move to the next.
Thank you.
With this, we'll move to the next team, which is team IKEA. Do we have team from IKEA? Yeah, Kaushik.
Yes, can you see me? I'm
Yes, Kaushik.
Along with Sukesh and Chak.
Hello.
Can we have a slide?
Hello.
Charan and Kaushik, we can see you. If you have any more colleagues, we just see two of you. Slide is on the screen now, and your time starts now, team IKEA.
Service center into a business value center. We propose a 4-pronged strategy to run in parallel over 18 months to yield a net real saving of about $30.5 million over 5 years on an investment of just over $5.3 million. Track 1 is really to realize value from existing operations through re-engineering and automation. AR, AP, tech, payroll, while these are stable, we believe they are ready for the next level of maturity. We see a potential to deploy close to 50 bots across the processes. An experienced firm can work closely with our internal teams to design, develop, and deploy RPA capabilities. We recommend using powerful process mining tools to reveal variations and automation possibilities as well. And we think we can get a real net saving of $12.7 million over 5 years using these. Track 2 is essentially to order work from headquarters in UK. We see a potential to move close to 58 FTEs who perform FP&A, tax, treasury, reporting work. And within these sub-functions, there are various activities that are not strategic, but they need a little bit of business knowledge. And through secondment, through coaching, through getting people from the teams there, we see a good possibility to do this work. We also see a great possibility to attract talent from the wider Pune market and use skilled, high potential internal teams to do this work from Pune. Track 3 involves working with a renowned innovation partner like say EY or Accenture to help set up an innovation lab in Pune. And they can focus on using emerging technologies like machine learning, AI, etc. to solve business problems. And this could be on a build, operate, transfer basis. Being co-located with core operations in a startup ecosystem like Pune, we see there is a tremendous potential to test, learn, and deploy new solutions. It is estimated that they can deliver close to $5.4 million over 5 years by commercializing new operating models. Track 4 is really about rebranding, repositioning. As they say, change your name to change your destiny. So showcasing our successes, capabilities, the future roadmap, we should be able to reposition the service center as a trusted business partner, not just a back office. So closer engagement with other business functions like procurement, customer fulfillment, will earn us a seat at the business table. And this is, of course, a great opportunity to be a poster child for other functions like digital, people services, supply chain, who may want to set up similar capabilities centers. Now, coming to the impact, a program of this size is like rebirth, metamorphosis, really. It will be intense, it will be painful, but if it's executed in a professional, careful, aligned manner, the organization comes out stronger. So the major impact is on people. People will lose jobs and livelihood. People who stay on will be stressed, morale will be low. Though we've budgeted for separation, that must be treated with great compassion, transparency, and consistency. People who stay on will need to upskill, and we should facilitate that, taking a leaf out of Amazon's wonderful Upskill 2025 mission. We should do something similar. In the short term, there will be turbulence. Processes, roles, tools, they will all change. Markets and business partners will be impacted. So in the program, it's essential that we manage the change, we manage stakeholders and communication in a very, very careful, continuous, aligned manner. In the long term, positive savings will improve shareholder value. The organization will become more modern, digital, robust, but it will bring in new vulnerabilities in the form of cyber risk and single location operational risks that we need to plan for and mitigate. But all in all, operations will be deeper, it'll be wider, more end-to-end. They'll be more efficient, controls will be stronger. All in all, our strategy envisages a new, bold tomorrow for the service center. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kaushik, and thanks for the your one-slide presentation. First, checking with the other jury colleagues. Rohit, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, team, for a wonderful presentation. My basic question, which we've generated a couple of times already, around what would be your anchoring statement? You know, you are showcasing all good features, what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, but how would you excite the CFO to take a conscious call on what you're suggesting him for? What would be your anchoring statement is my key goal.
Our anchoring statement would be to say that there's great benefit in growing a single location as a vertical stack, you know, operations, transformation, innovation. And the anchoring statement would be make it more end-to-end. Today we are doing parts of the work which are fragmented, but if we are given a chance to do it more end-to-end, from procurement to business performance, measurement and monitoring, it gives us an ability to deliver value. Yeah, and the location is the anchor to say that Pune is a great location, has a great catchment of talent, known ecosystem for startups, So we can work closely with startups, build capabilities, but build the capabilities in-house. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kaushik, compliments to your team on a very nicely done presentation where you even acknowledge the issues which all of you will face, when I look at the people related and drop in service quality in the short term for the operations. And it's interesting how much you've packed with the right visuals, and yet the slide doesn't look very clunky or very busy. So many compliments for that. My question was, yes, you have talked about the challenges, but if you had to identify one key barrier or one key speed breaker to implementing this plan, what would that be?
It is always about people, right? I mean, resistance to change is real in any organization. It's easy to lay it out on this slide and say there are 4 tracks, 4 project teams will run this, there'll be a good program team. But the organization change resistance and the organization appetite to take on the change and deliver the program in time, in quality, it is always underestimated, dramatically underestimated. So I would say that buy-in of people, strong sponsorship, from the center, and helping to manage the organization resistance, I would say that is the biggest barrier in these cases.
Thank you. Thanks.
So Kaushik, indeed a very good visual with lot of information packed. I just wanted to understand how you have proposing to deal with the non-preference of your key stakeholder, that is the CFO, to outsource at least part of the work.
It is an interesting question, and I think others have also done a really good job of answering it. To say that, in my mind, the way to answer this question would be to tell the CFO that it always takes away management attention to have 2 service delivery centers, one internal, one external, right? The models are there. There are hybrid models out there, and they are successful. But we have to look at what is our culture and what is our ways of working. How comfortable are we partnering with a third party? We are not completely ruling it out, as you see in our case. What we say is to set up the innovation center, let's bring in a known, proven, experienced third party who can help set it up for us. For deploying RPA, we say let's not boil the ocean and do it ourselves, but let's get somebody from outside to do it. So we are not averse to bringing in people to do it, but we have to probably look at it to say that operations, you always lose management attention when you do it in 2 places. Is that worth taking, is the point.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Kaushik, and thanks, Team IKEA. I think thanks for sharing your thoughts, and all the best to you as we progress through the day. We'll move to the next team now, which is Team JSW. Do we have leaders from JSW there? Yes, I can see Tarun. Yeah. Can you the slide for JSW? Slideshow. Thank you. Team JSW, your time starts now.
Sure, thanks. So first of all, thanks for giving us the opportunity to present our case. Project is DISTI. It's about vision, not about eyes, and it's FSSC 2.0. Now, we observe that there's a challenge where we have been perceived as a service unit. We cannot perform core complex processes. There's a high attrition and opportunity of outsourcing being considered. We have created a framework which talk about 3 key parameters. One is current challenges which we are facing. Then there's a dimension of transformation which we are talking about, and what is the enabler of that transformation. In our challenges, critical challenges are perceived as service unit, business expansion, whether to go or not to go, and employee stagnancy. The first one we are covering through digitization, RPA deployment, and creating a GPO, Global Process Center, from Pune Center. The key enabler, which we feel can be the process level, as we have a strong workflow system. So we will work on better procurement through Ariba, bringing out more portals for reconciliation and journal posting. Then there's a structured CFO reporting, which we are looking into. We will bring a comfort and confidence with the upstream and downstream stakeholder. Then RPA, which talk about moving to a touchless processing where low value add activity can be transformed and those resources can be moved up the value chain and they are ready for high scale activity, which can show them a growth in their business. Then creating a GPO is like real partnering with business upstream and downstream team, like marketing, sales, procurement team. That will give them a connect between GBS and the retained entity in UK. Then business expansion, we are looking at when we have created this center, it's performing best, we should go for a further transition. But yes, we will look for critical activities like FP&A, reporting, and some part of tax which we can deliver. Third, but not the least and important, is employee stagnancy. So we are looking at employee partnership. It's about sharing the vision with them, role versus competency mapping, and some on-site opportunity for the critical role which will be available in future. Just to share, before conducting this exercise, we have assumed that we have, in last 3 years, we have transformed to the simplest things and we have given a benefit of double-digit year-on-year. And we have benchmarked our processes and we are at par with other companies in the industry, which will be a selling point with our CFO. We have also created a 2x2 framework with respect to our stakeholder and key people connect. We have seen what is the impact and relevance of with respect to our decisions, and we are targeting to cover those stakeholders which have a high impact and high relevance and understand the challenge and fill that gap. Employee, as we talk about, is going to be the key driver across the project. And there will be a structured stakeholder communication and a 3-tier governance, which can ensure success of the project. There will be a change management, which will be considered throughout this project. And there will be a 2-stream. One is on RPA, which will go for 18 to 24 months. And then there's on transition, which will be a 6-month journey. We observe there can be a positive business case in 1.12 years, giving us a benefit of 12.2 crore in 2 years and 62 crores in 5 years. Intangible benefits are CSAT score ESAT score will improve, and a digital innovation capability center will be created. Conclusion, we will create a capability center, no outsourcing, digitization, build employee competency, and transition of high-end processes. Thank you. Open for question.
Thank you. Thank you, Tarun. So any questions from any jury member here? Maybe I can have a question to start with, and maybe Tarun, I think a lot of areas which you have covered in terms of the transformation areas, change areas, and so on and so forth. One of the questions going back is, it's already like even talking about this 360 degrees impact you talked about. There are a lot of action areas are there. How you propose to really look at and assess the enterprise-wide impact beyond the financial impact? What would be some of those impact, and how do you propose to communicate that to the CFO?
So see, we have seen this at across level, and our observation is CFO feels this as a service unit because he feels we somewhere not connected to that level with business. So we are looking at our key stakeholder like the business, the procurement team, the sales team. Now we are going to connect with them by providing a relevant information, providing relevant data, which can help us to basically to ensure we provide them those relevant information like a working capital should be ensured that a raw material cycle can be reduced. Now, this can only be done when we are able to ensure what is our lead time to get the procurement, how we are paying. One important point, I haven't talked about the better negotiation, which I haven't quantified it here. So if we are able to streamline and be partner with business, end of the day, this will help us in better negotiation from a procurement side. Similarly, from a sales side, this will give a better visibility from SO till actual payment receipt. Now, when you provide these relevant information, this will help our end team sitting in UK, whether it is purchase or sales, to interact with vendor or customer and give that comfort about how doing business with us is better. So it's about creating a value for our key stakeholders.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Tarun. Anand, do you have a question?
Yeah, very basic, very basic question, and please don't get me wrong, but I'm curious to know why you have given all the financial numbers in rupees and crores to a UK headquarter.
So there's no specific reason behind it. We have just considering Pune as a center, we have converted that in INR. Okay. Definitely, this can be presented into pounds and dollars.
We still have 45 seconds. If any question, if no, then we can move to the next team. Okay, no follow-up. Great, thanks, Tarun and JSW team. Thanks for your presentation. It was nice to hear your thoughts. Thank you and all the best.
Thanks.
Can we get the slide off the screen, please? With this, we'll move to the next. Oh yeah, interesting. Now the next session is a comfort break. So I was just looking for it. I think so. It's a break for 5 minutes, and in this break we have Bhaskar joining us from CIMA. So Bhaskar, if you're there, yeah. So Bhaskar, we'll have a quick video playing from the CIMA. And then as we all come back in the next 2-3 minutes from the break, we'll request you to share some thoughts on the gift vouchers CIMA wants to bring to the winners, as well as the digital mindset program. So I request we keep it very brief, this break, and then because we want to hear Bhaskar in next couple of minutes of time. So Bhaskar, give us a couple of minutes before we come back to you. We'll have a video played just now.
Today's finance leaders are evolving beyond technical accounting to take on strategic and management priorities. In order to join them in their strategic roles, it's important to advance your skills, your capabilities, your value to the business. Right now, you have the opportunity to do just that with the CGMA Finance Leadership Program. The program prepares you to earn the CGMA designation and take your seat at the decision-making table. Held by over 150,000 professionals from top companies around the globe, the CGMA designation showcases advanced proficiency in operations, strategy, and management. The CGMA Finance Leadership Program takes a personalized approach to help you become a finance leader. You'll begin your learning journey at the entry point that's right for you. Your journey is then customized to fit your schedule and meet your goals. From how much you want to accomplish in a week, to how quickly you can earn your designation. Competencies focus on real-world scenarios with new frameworks and tools you'll immediately apply in the workplace. Knowledge checks gauge your understanding along the way, while I can statements help you articulate new skills. Timed business simulation assessments reinforce what you've learned. And the system identifies material you should review again to ensure mastery. As you complete each competency, the employer report provides an opportunity to share your progress, highlight accomplishments, and discuss applying new skills to your current job. Next, prepare for the exam experience with the case study preparation course. Designed to mirror the official case study exam, You'll receive a business case to review and assignments to submit. Personalized feedback from our experts ensures you're ready to pass the real thing and move closer to obtaining your CGMA designation. Take the first step toward becoming a finance leader. Visit cgma.org today to learn more.
Good evening, folks. It's my pleasure to welcome you all. We've been through the first part of the Shared Service Forum and CIMA Business Challenge. From AICPA and CIMA side, we are very happy to offer to all the participants on this challenge a learning pack. It's called the Digital Mindset Pack. AICPA and CIMA, you're no stranger to being in the finance and accounting world. This pack includes a lot of the key topics that we've come to hear about in today's session and as also part of your presentations. Some bits about analytics, something about reinventing finance. So we've heard how to do capability building. We've heard how to build this business-focused mindset. And this is what is coming to you in a capsule, in a learning format. You would receive this within 24 hours on your email. This access will be valid for each one of you for the next 12 months. And you have the capability to earn what is called a digital badge. This digital badge, you could freely share it on your LinkedIn or your social media handle. It's valued at $369 in the US, but we are making it available to you complimentary as a part of this program. In terms of the prizes that CIMA is offering, I'm very happy to announce the winner of today's challenge, and which we'll come to know only by around 6:15 or 6:20 today. The winning team will receive a 30,000 rupees prize in terms of vouchers. Today we are in the world of vouchers, so they would come in handy for our day-to-day spends. The first runner-up would receive a 15,000 rupee team prize, and the second runner-up would receive a 10,000 rupee team prize. All participants would be awarded a certificate of participation in this business challenge. And of course, the winners would receive plaques and certificates as per their achievements. For any of these areas in finance and accounting, please feel free to connect with us. We are available on social media, through Shared Service Forum, and as two bodies of global importance, AICPA and CIMA. We are here to further the finance and accounting profession, and we look forward to connecting with you. Thank you very much, and good luck to the teams.
Bhaskar, thanks for the wonderful gifts, and this digital mindset pack looks wonderful. Absolutely.
You're welcome. It's something that Rohit on the jury would be very familiar with as a CIMA member, and we'd be happy to share it with the jury members as well if you feel that it would be useful.
It will certainly be most useful to have a look at it.
Smriti, it is indeed pretty eye-opening as a new person to this digital world. I did that myself, and you get to learn a lot of stuff because we keep hearing those blockchains and everything. They have so many videos around these. If you go through each, you get the meaning of it and why it should be used. So it's wonderful.
Wonderful. And also the fact that you can keep it in a loop till you really figure it out, right?
Correct. You can redoing it. And so there's a small test of your understanding as well. So which helps you even refine your understanding at the end of it.
It's a marvelous gift. Thank you. Really a marvelous gift.
Our pleasure.
Absolutely, indeed, Bhaskar. Thanks for that. And I think we are very delighted as a part of Shared Services Forum to have a partnership with CIMA in this journey. And with this, we will move to the, because the clock is ticking and we have to move and do a lot of more presentations. So we'll move to the next one, which is Team Lupin. So do we have Team Lupin?
Yes.
Can we have
Hi,
you at video?
Yes, please. Are we visible?
Yes,
Audible?
we can see you. Yes, we can see you and hear you as well, Jigar. So can we have the slides for?
Hello.
Yes, thank you. We have the slide on the screen now. So Jigar, over to you. Your time starts now.
Thank you so much. And we are Team Lupin along with our center, Mr. Lalit Singhal, and there is a business case which was given. 260 employees at Financial Service Center Pune and 90 employees at HO, as you see on the left side, current state. And on the future state, the numbers are clearly visible. What we wanted to reduce the focus on the transaction processing. And then there are 3 more verticals which we wanted to bring, which is Digital Center of Excellence, Analytics, and Process Excellence. And this can be possible with 3 business BPM drivers: process, technology, and people. As rightly said in the previous presentation, there is a greater focus on technology and process, and with the investment of 2 crores in technology, because first thing is we need to have a new vertical. So we will add first 7 employees into our new verticals, which comprise of Digital Center of Excellence, Analytics, and Process Excellence. With the help of few consultants, we will invest heavily in technology and process improvements, and with the investment of 2 crores in technology, there will be a saving of 30 FTE, and then with the saving of 1 crore, there will be a saving of 15 FTE. So all in all, what we are seeing is out of 260 employees, we will transform this entire process, and there will be a saving of 45 FTE. Now, this transformation will help our employees to motivate, because there is a problem that employees are feeling demotivated and then they do not see the growth. But once we have such verticals available, when they see there are greater focus on processing and technologies, then I'm sure the people part also will be taken care. So as you see on the right hand side, the current state 260 employees at Financial Service Center, 45 employees. With the transformation, that bandwidth will be available. There will be hiring of another 7 new employees. So that is on the 260 employees. And then what we are seeing on the 90 employees and Finance HO, which is at UK, 70 FT worth of work can be transitions and 20 cannot, because we need a 20 FT or 20 roles at HO who will be front facing. So remaining 70 employees, already we have a bandwidth of 45, so only remaining 1 we will hire at a shared service center. So all in all, with the investment of 12 crores, again, amount is in rupees, considering this presentation is being made at a Pune Shared Service Center. But yeah, can be equivalently converted to GBH or the local currencies. But with the investment of 12 crores, there will be a saving of 25 crores from year 2 onwards, which includes the salary arbitrage of 70 employees with a 30 lakhs per annum. And all in all this will happen because of our people, because our people are our asset, and we wanted to invest more on people. So in people also there are investments where we are investing in people in 3 areas: in employee engagement, in learning and development, in talent management. And with this, over a period of 24 months, what we see is there will be a 23% of job rotation and role enhancement, because that's where the people see there is no growth. And with all these 3 verticals, and then the investment in people practices, which includes the employee engagement, L&D, and talent management, what we see is there will be a 23% job rotation. Then one important aspect is the training. So 48 hours man hours training per employee per annum, which includes the front facing and the new roles which we are bringing from Finance HO to shared service centers. All in all, 48 man hours training and the 23% job rotations. Our people will be capable enough to drive this technology and process improvement. So all in all, with investment of 12 crores, there will be a saving of 25 crores year 2 onwards, with a salary arbitrage of 70 employees into 30 lakhs per annum. So that's all on the business case.
Any questions, please?
Thanks, Jigar, for this slide presentation. I think, yes, Rohit, you have a question, please go ahead.
Thanks, Jigar, for a walkthrough. My basic question is, other than labor arbitrage, what is the value add this center will try to bring for it to be called a capability center?
Right. So Rohit, as you can see on this, as we see on the slide, with the investment in technology and process, there will be a 45 FT worth of saving, which is equivalent to 18% productivity, and with an average of 10 lakh rupees per annum in Indian currency, because these 260 employees are at Pune center. So whatever 45 FT worth of work will be get automated. So that will be a straight away again a saving in terms of the salary, or in terms of the productivity, 18%.
And also to add that because we are planning and implementing so many digital automation and process excellence, so the confidence level will increase, because the lot of things will move in the automation. So it will give a more confidence to the CFO, because he will see things are many transactional level things are happening automatically. So these are error free. So it will enhance the confidence of the higher management, as well as the company. The employees will get motivated, because they will get training, they will work on new technology, they will work on new tools. So this is a win-win situation for both.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure. Any other questions from any of the jury members?
No, I think there's no question. So I think we are okay. There's no question. Thanks, Lupin team, and for your presentation and sharing your thoughts and the way you have placed your business case. All the best for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you, jury members.
Thank you. We'll progress to the next team now. This is team Ramball. Do we have leaders from team Ramball?
Yeah, I cannot start my video. It says the video has been stopped by the co-host.
Not sure, Deepak. You just want to, yeah, we can see you, Deepak, very well.
Yes, now it is up. Yeah.
Good.
All right.
So, yeah, so the slide is on. Your time starts now, Deepak.
All right. So transforming cost center into capability center is a dream of many shared service organizations, and surely it is slowly but surely it is becoming a mandate for a shared service to be a capability center. We can easily achieve this using a diamond value model. So in a conventional traditional pyramid, there are three levers that are used, which is labor, value, and business engagement. If we flip this pyramid vertically and then chisel around the corners, we can actually create the diamond value. Business engagement can be expanded to mid-level of enterprise, focused on tactical planning, customer insight, and business simulation, moving away from query resolution in the traditional pyramid. Delivery can be enhanced by the ease of doing business and wow factors, backing on data science, helping the functions respond to the market trends, and elevating the strategic contribution, moving away from essentially a utility level value in the traditional pyramid. Labor pool has a significant proportion need to be focused on the future skills. So that needs a lot of investment, such as robotic process automation, problem solving, shifting from low touch, high volume transaction in the traditional pyramid to a high end knowledge intensive labor pool. And these three levers of diamond value pyramid can further be transformed using the 4 pillars of diamond pyramid, which is organization design. We can leverage with the organization design by freeing up our middle managers to do more business engagement and value add. Subject matter expert can better be used through the center of expert by providing real-time customized experience with predictive insight at an unparalleled speed. Skill development, I said, is very important, and good thing is the average age of a shared service resource is around 27 years. So they are quite adaptable to change, and we can use gig economy to our benefit. Last but not the least, the program for collaboration needs to be promoted because it will help improve the workforce atmosphere, make it more flexible, creative, and productive. These will impact the enterprise as a whole. I'll ask my team to run it through.
So one of the major area of impact is digitization.
which can be leveraged for early month-end close. Automation of standard tasks will enable the shared service center to concentrate more on the analytical tasks and give more time to the management for strategic decision-making.
Shared services focuses on customized experiences with the use of technology. Experts and CEO gives customized services like tax advisory, statutory reporting, data mining and analysis on value-added text, which elevates the strategic contributions in SSC.
Shared Service Center can be used for implementation of strategic plans, implementation of one ERP platform, improvising on workflows or plugin tools can be accelerated by Shared Service Center by partnering with process excellence, business and cross-functional teams.
Collaboration will give opportunity for wing-to-wing review of the processes rather than being confined within the team. For example, review of source to pay process rather than accounts payable process. This will result in more effective, productive, and efficient organization.
Effective change management is the key to any successful transformation program, and shared service delivering change management services can really turn the table for an organization.
Thank you. And now it is open for questions.
Thanks, Team Rambal, for your presentation. Requesting any jury member if you have any question.
Thanks, team. And I think it's so nice to see all team members see their faces and everybody participate. The diamond value model is an interesting one. What didn't come out clearly for me was what would be the value or the savings for the organization through this transformation.
Yeah. So there are two savings for the organization. One, we are moving to the next generation shared services using digitization, accelerated implementation, collaboration, and change management. In the monetary terms, it will give around 9 million saving in around 1.1 year, which is a payback period. If we take into consideration contingency, it will move to 1.5 years. If there is more waves of corona, or if there is any fallback in terms of attrition, or if there are any other roadblocks in implementing the technology. So it will move to 1.5 years, but it will still give, we have taken contingency of 20% cost increase and around 10% reduction in the savings if we move to 1.5 years of payback period. And we have included that we will move around 17 jobs from UK to India, and we will automate within UK around 10 jobs locally by using of automation.
Thanks, Deepak. Thank
you. Wait, do you have a question? Please go ahead.
Yes, please. Thank you, Team Rambal. The basic question I have is, what's your take on outsourcing versus keeping everything in-house? Now that with the diamond value model, you are trying to overhaul the operations as well as the team. So why continue with the basic transactional level jobs? Why don't you think of outsourcing them? What's your take on that?
See, we believe that with technology coming in place, we can automate a lot of jobs within the organization. That's number one. Secondly, keeping the jobs within the shared service cater to the data privacy laws and in Europe as well as it gives us more flexibility. A lot of organizations are growing inorganically today. So in case there is any other acquisitions, we can quickly then use the created platform to connect to the new organization and get them onto the shared service platform quickly. So that advantage we will lose if we will outsource. So that's the reason we want to keep it in-house. And I think a lot of shared services and captive units have seen success in that. That's the reason you see booming of shared services other than the outsourcing. Outsourcing has its own advantage of readily available experts, but I think the flexibility will be killed if we just outsource.
Thank you for that.
I think, Rajesh, you have a question?
Yeah, I just have a quick follow-up. That, from a messaging perspective, can we say that, the headquarters should transition complex processes to Pune, but Pune should not transition transactional processes to outsourcing provider? Does it create mixed messages?
No, it does not. And the reason why I'm saying that is one, moving the process from UK to India will enable the UK team to focus more on the value add and interactions with the business as such. And secondly, by not moving, we are saying that we are not moving it to the outsourcing center, but we are very much in favor of automating what we do in the local shared services. So if we are automating something in UK, we are definitely looking to automate more through the robotic process automation, intelligence automation, and plug-in tools. So it is not, we are not saying that we will not automate in-house within the shared services, but we are saying that we will keep it within ourselves for the data privacy and flexibility purpose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Deepak, and thanks, Team Rambol. It was good to hear your thought process. With this, we'll move to the next team.
Thank you.
And all the best to you, Team Rambol.
Thank you.
Is Tata Autocomp Systems. Do we have team from Tata Autocomp?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Prem. We can see you. Good afternoon. Can we have a slide from Tata Autocomp, please? So Prem, here is the slide on the screen. Your time starts now.
Okay. So thank you, esteemed jury and the panelists for having us. And as we all know, the case is about moving from a cost center to a capability center. And we propose a very systematic and completely calculated spread about, plan in a phased manner. And to start with, we have a 4 milestones journey where we plan to analyze and then adopt and then do a skill, a matrix test between within the organization to fit our employees basis their skills, and then form a center of excellence team who will be ready to migrate activities from the UK. And also, again, after that, do a self-evaluation check and then, take the road ahead as to deliver what is expected out of us. And why we feel that we can do that is because we come from a very good or right mix of manpower, where we have quite experienced people on board who have a lot of ground experience in the past, as well as fresh minds, which we encourage. So this will keep us intact to the encounter in the process, and at the same time keep our innovation on the table at all times and give the best. And we, being a finance-based FSS of shared service, we believe that numbers is something that helps us drive the whole business decisions. And that is why we propose to merge with analytics firm and then ensure that the numbers that we present are robust and absolutely crisp, so that the best decisions are taken. And then to back it up, technology is a talk of the boardroom, as we all know, and all the available resources in the market regarding technology is not a huge research material. So we will do, in fact, a self-evaluation check of which technology suits the best and gives the maximum return on the investments that are made from the UK, and then implement them. And then that's why we call ourselves, a global business multifunctional approach, where we are ready to take a 360-degree approach and deliver what is expected of us. But all this, we believe, cannot happen without a good and strong employee base, which is why we propose that we have a lot of positive trainings that can happen in organization, and our employees are given proper insights as to why they can stay with us and what kind of career progression they see in the future. And obviously we reward them, we will reward the best ones along. So apart with this, I would request my colleague Gauri to take you through the impacts.
Yeah, thanks, Prince. The impacts that would have on this by implementing this strategy is that there would be data inferences, also learning and growth perspective. Yes, there will be a learning and growth in our employees. And we would say the tagline to our strategy is that we would be a one-stop solution to all the finance functions. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, team Tata Autocomp for sharing your thought process. I think any questions from the jury panel? Go ahead. Yes, please, Rohit.
Yeah, just the basic one in terms of cost investment versus returns. That's not coming out.
Yeah. So we would like to put the point of a geographical disparity. So by moving the resources, by reducing the resources at UK and increasing the resources in India, will obviously come for a substantial saving in the manpower cost, which would be reinvested in the technological part of it to make sure that there are no additional budget allocation, and also to make sure that return on investment and payback period is optimum to make sure that project is a successful project within the gambit of 20 months.
Just a follow up on that one, how the strategy is shared. As a team, we are yet to decide on the technology. We are yet to decide on the investments.
Sorry, come again. Can you please repeat your question, please?
So the strategy is that how it was shared, you will be looking at the new age technology, what suits your center or requirement. So have we done any recce or study?
Yes. So we would be investing more on the robotic processes. So robots being repetitive processes are being robotized. So we would like to put more repetitive work on the bots and keep the shared services more on the analytical and thinking and more on the exceptional part of it. So that is the way we leverage between technology and the manpower.
Thank you.
A quick question, Anand. Yeah, Anand, go ahead.
Yes.
I have seen something pretty interesting in this about centralized control of all processes.
Yes.
Would you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. So when I say centralized processes, when we consolidate on all the processes at a single place in Pune, so we would be optimizing and standardizing the processes with a standard SLA and standard SOPs, and also with defined matrices for measurement of performances, and which will be also used as a benchmarking to meet with the industrial standards. So this is how we say the entire end-to-end, right from the time the concept is conceived to the benchmarking is kept at the single place.
Sorry, then I misunderstood the word control here. Now I understand what you meant here. I thought control as finance people we understand.
Yeah, it's more from the process and yes.
No, right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tata Autocom team, for your presentation, and Sanchala and Gauri and team, thank you for sharing your thoughts, and all the best.
And thank you so much. Thanks for giving an opportunity to the CMA team and Shared Service Forum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With this, we'll move to, in fact, we have what I just realized, I was just also looking at the scoring. We have from an alphabetical order, 3 Tata companies coming in a row now. So the next Tata company is Tata Motors. So TML Business Services. So do we have TML leaders in the call?
Hello.
Is it Girish?
Yeah, but we are sitting in the same room. So I am Ravindra Pethe over here.
Yeah, Pethe. Hi, Pethe.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. And so your slides on the screen now, and with this, your time starts now.
Yeah. So good evening, jury. I am Ravindra Pethe from TML BSL Shared Services. With my team, today we bring to you a powerful strategy to create a future finance capability center. The Shared Service Center is going to help the parent company to win their business objectives and work more like a business partner. With a clear strategy in mind, we plan to move a step above the notch from working like a traditional finance shared services that focuses on processing transactional activities to a business partner working hand in hand. Let me explain now our strategy in terms of what we are planning to do. There are 4 important pillars poised to completely revamp our delivery model. The transactional elements, which are stable and standardized, is outsourced through a 2-tier model to clear our bandwidth and enable us to work on a very important transformational ideas. At the same time, we bring in more value add work in our domain from the parent company. As business partners, we transition new areas, transform and stabilize those, and move those out to third-party service provider as our future strategy. We are confident that we will be able to generate a payback around 14 months and saving of around 1.45 million GBP through outsourcing and through transferring the work from UK to the financial services in India. We believe that our strength of understanding the process, risk controls, and our team is capable of working with multiple stakeholders to achieve this over a period of 18 to 12 months. We have also highlighted, based on our understanding of the organization, multiple areas which we are confident will be able to generate value to the business. With the management on board and necessary investments taken care of, we will be capable of, we will be able to generate business value to the tune of rupees 5.5 million GBP over a period with a payback of 17 months. On future capability building and building knowledge center, we will work on 2 fronts. One is creating an analytical hub over here. Other is owning up and being accountable for customer experience. We need to delight our customers. With the help of our analytical and digital capability that we will create in-house, we will be able to give a better customer experience. To manage the entire customer experience journey, be it vendors or dealers or employees, because we are managing the entire life cycle of every finance processes touching the stakeholders, through along with the analytical team to work with external business partners. We can also work with external business partners to create that capacity in our team so that the robust delivery and capacity building happens simultaneously. The team will work with the business to create a single version of truth for taking business decisions, which can be historical analysis or predictive modeling with different business scenarios using multiple tools and technologies, visual analytics such as Power BI. The team is capable to work with business and deliver business solutions, bringing in multiple savings, which may be more than the value creation zone. And we are confident to deliver that in next 1 to 3 years period. Thank you, everyone. We are open for questions now.
I think thanks, Pethe, for the presentation. You were just about to press the buzzer and you finished your presentation. So I think it was much on time. I think I just request if any member you have any questions. I have one to start with, and maybe I'd request others to add. I think if you can just share in terms of specifically this thought on the, when you say the new transitions, and you were also talking about that you will keep moving the new work also after stabilizing at a point of time to an outsourced provider.
Yes.
Have you factored that also as a part of your business case?
No, currently not, because the idea, the strategy basically is to bring in the work from UK, stabilize and standardize over a period of years, and then outsource it to the third agency. And we have done a global survey, okay, and through that we find that in the 90 people as a part of business case, there is an opportunity for insourcing. Around 50%, 45 to 50% of that is transactional, which we are not transactional, but which can be shared serviceable. And that basically we are planning to bring in, standardize, digitize, I find opportunities for digitization, and then outsource. So currently in business case, we have not factored in that.
Sure. Thanks for clarifying that. A quick follow through, and I know Anand has a question, but before that, you mentioned on this slide this industrialized analytics.
Yeah.
Just throw some light in terms of what kind of thought process you have when you look at this analytics and the way it connects back to the kind of a business or a value creation you're talking about.
Yeah. So we have identified certain areas on the knowledge of business what the team has currently. Since I mentioned we are, even though we are doing a transactional processing, the team has a good amount of fair idea of how the business functions. Okay, so the plan is to create various models, and here we will take a support from a third party agency who can help us in developing our team. Okay, and then build up this analysis. We have already identified few areas like marketing mix model, dealer profitability analysis, inventory and cost analysis, and employee cost analysis. So these are all the major items what we have identified, and we will try to bring in this model with coordination with a third party.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. I saw you, Anand, you had a question.
No, that was you preempted in a way, because I also was curious whether the optimized delivery cost savings and investments are after netting off whatever is coming from, I mean, a combination of outsourcing as well as insourcing from UK.
Yes.
So that has he has already clarified it is only insourcing from UK. But the follow through will be that why would you keep outsourcing after insourcing? You would not need capacity to be freed up upfront.
See, the strategy is designed in such a way that the current transactional activities move out. We bring in, as per the global benchmarks, we bring in the shared serviceable activity from UK to India. We do the digitization automation on that shared serviceable activity and then outsource. So that is the strategy what we have. So this will be sort of an incubation center where we take in the activities, and currently it's only finance. But later on, we can look into, if this is successful, we can look into the other domains also.
Okay.
Thanks, the TML Business Services team and Pete.
Yeah, thank you.
It was nice to hear your thoughts. I think the kind of multiple perspectives you have brought in together into one page. It was very, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best as we move to the next team.
Yeah.
So the next team is Tata Steel Center of Excellence. Do we have the team from Tata Steel on the call?
Yeah,
Yes,
hi,
Rakesh, we are there.
Hi, Sushil. Hi,
Yeah,
Sushil. Yeah, hi, Shrisha. So, yeah, Sushil, your slide is on the screen now, and your time starts now. Over to you.
A very good evening to the board members. We propose our approach of scaling up our finance shared service center to Global Innovation Center and build a better tomorrow. 6 pillars of our approach are building new capabilities for high-end reporting and analytical capabilities, drive productivity through digital by optimizing human dependencies, introduce flexible delivery models to gain access to new talent, building a capability melting pot with future-ready agile talent, driving outcomes for business with insights on right KPIs, create an unparalleled customer experience through user-centric design. Our transformation approach will be delivered through 6 levers. Core expansion. We will analyze and outsource what is non-core and bring in more high-end work to create excitement. A focused value creation team will drive value-based projects. Considering scale of transformation, we would recommend an external program manager to support the change program. As second lever, we will adopt a digital-first approach where technology meets business to deliver 4 E's, which are economies, efficiency, effectiveness, and experience. A duplicate payment engine and AI-based expense audit tool will be unique offerings deployed to protect duplicate cash outflows and control costs. RPA will be deployed on top of process mining capabilities to automate broken processes and create RPA citizens. Natural language will be leveraged for automating standard reporting. To improve effectiveness, a data warehouse will ensure single version of truth for all data points. This will be pivotal to our success of creating a data-centric organization. We will bring in virtual reality in our reporting, both internal and external. In a first of its kind, a VR experience will be set up, demonstrating capabilities to business heads to significantly aid change management. As third lever, we will introduce dynamic models with digital partnerships with OEMs for setting up RPA and visualization COEs and building internal capability. We will get into association with academic institutions for developing machine learning models and minimizing cost. In spite of all the tech deployment, talent will be pivotal to our success. We will build future-ready talent to handle complex customer-centric roles and sharpen behavioral skills to bring quantum shift from being back office to customer-facing function. Gamification-based learning will give batches that will give an edge to careers. A talent marketplace will onboard talent beyond boundaries for GIC. Well-being will continue to be important with diverse workforce. Transformation approach will ensure deep stakeholder connect. We will use agile and design thinking for faster and user-centric delivery. Our key mantra will be communicate, communicate, communicate. We will build data-centric decision-making culture by providing insights through energy-led reporting and self-service analytics set upon near real-time data. With these 6 levers, we will expand our core with a digital-first approach through dynamic models led by talent, enabled by transformation, and creating insights and experience. A 3-tier governance mechanism will ensure program success and mitigate various risks. This approach will deliver tangible value and act as a fulcrum of business transformation. A second-to-none stakeholder experience will be delivered, committing us to a better tomorrow. Thank you. Sushil from our team will address the questions, if any.
Hi, thanks, Swati, and thanks, Sushil and Tata Steel team. I think you covered pretty much your content within the allotted time. So thank you for that. I just check with first my jury panel members if they have any questions before I take. Any questions? Yes, please go ahead.
Thanks, Tata Steel team. Thanks for a very nice presentation. I think this question has been asked before, that how do you intend to bring in the high-end work? How will that confidence come? That's an intention, but will that really get materialized?
Yeah, so that will be addressed through 3-pronged approach. First, we will identify high-skill resources within the function, because in a transactional setup also, there will be some talent that can do high-end work. So we will identify that talent and upskill them. That is one. Second, we will get some bit of talent from the external market as well. So that will be the third thing. And the third approach is that we are also setting up a talent marketplace, which will mean that some of the onshore people can also work and deliver for the shared service center, irrespective of them being operating out of that location. And we have not considered a very aggressive shared retained strategy for our business case.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other question from the jury panel?
How about the roadmap, the time plan around all these seemingly very ambitious actions and elements of, I mean, the 6 levers and multiple elements within these 6 levers?
Yeah, so we're considering a time frame of about 24 months to deliver this, and we will use agile and design thinking to actually accelerate this. So teams will work in squads and tribes, and we will have daily stand-ups to actually ensure that we are delivering on track. And we'll also get an external program manager to hold everything together so that all the pieces can actually stay together. So that expertise we will leverage.
Okay.
Thanks. Thanks, Team Tata Steel, and thanks, Sushil and Swati and Shisha. I think it was a nice presentation with a lot of excellent thoughts and nice visuals too, the way you're looking at multiple combinations. So thank you for that, and we'll move to the next team, and all the best to Tata Steel team.
Thanks, Rakesh.
Thank you.
So we're moving to the next team, which is VE Business Services, which is Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles. So do we have the team from VE Business Services on the call? Navani, I can see you. And Varun, yeah, okay. Hi, Nitin, good to see you. Okay, so the slide is on the screen. So over to you, VE Business Services team. Your time starts now.
Good evening, everyone. So our proposal to the case study is reposition the SSES Center of Excellence and business partners and investors. So the problem statement on the case study, we had 3 problem statements. The one was plateau growth. The second was the perception about SSE handling the transactional and looking for the outsourcing activity. And third was the talent motivation of the people. So the basic strategy that we put around is the focus shift from a functional expertise and process expertise to an enterprise performance management. So we would reposition the SSE the management to contribute to the enterprise performance management. And for that, there are 4 pointers metrics. One is to shift the approach from a process driven to process agility. So now once you have standardized and set the processes, now it's time to connect with the business and bring in process agility to have the diverse business views. Realigning the matrices with the key business drivers. So moving from a transaction matrices to the value matrices, the end-to-end value deliveries contributing to the business. So redesigning your matrices. Third, the basic contribution that we see is process re-engineering and transformation. So this would be the co-creation and co-ownership with the business teams. So lastly, most of the shared services we assume had been into setting up themselves and the improvement around the productivity and enhancement. But now it has to be co-created along with the business team to drive end-to-end value. So the ownership would be higher and the business benefits would be more valued by the business team. And at the end, retaining the soul and heart of the SSE, sustained productivity improvement through the automation like RPA and other AI tools on these standard processes, which would free up your bandwidth, take up the higher roles and opportunities. In terms of mindset change of the management to handle the complex roles, so it is like, as I mentioned, onto the aligning with the key enterprise priorities, talent pooling up skills on the higher role. Why we say that the business teams can handle it on the shared services is their proven expertise to handle the project management role. So with the various expansion, the shared services have built over period of time on the processes. So they have a proven expertise to transform the processes from as is to be way it is being handled. And with that expertise and proven experience management, we can go up to the management to take up the business process transformation and related projects. Then onto the leveraging onto the modern tools, onto built-on systems and becoming the center of efficiencies. The 4 initiatives that we have identified is to create a vertical of business process transformation, which would be through innovation committee that we would be proposing, which would be chaired by CXOs, business heads, and CFOs, led by the project management team from shared services and business teams. Another we put is the business analytics and reporting warehouse to have the shared services as the center of analytics and warehouse. Third, we see as center of excellence, plug and play model for the standard processes of finance. So whenever any expansion is happening in any of the business vertical, they are rest assured onto the process setup and the business model structuring. We would like to put up a plug and play model wherein you can approach the SSE and you have a ready processes to put around and go live with your business verticals. And then fourth, we propose is the migrating the existing UK-based processes, retaining the decision-making authority with them, but the analysis and the better bandwidth we have. So leveraging the existing DMS tools for the workflow and decision-making and providing them the better analytics onto it. That is our fourth initiative that we see around. And with this, we believe that employee motivation can handle due to better center of excellence and giving them the better opportunities on. So with this, I put the jury on the questions.
Yeah, thanks, Varun and the team for sharing your thoughts. I'll just check with my fellow jury panelists if they have any questions first.
Rakesh, you should ask questions.
Certainly, I'll do that. Okay, so I think one question from my side, I think what I was looking at is, the one element of the entire case story was that this shared services is a matured shared services. It has plateaued over a few years of time. And the CFO in the headquarters have a bit of an apprehension in terms of that they can, provide more value-added work or a front, end processes to the Pune center, and they are contemplating to even outsource. What has been your assessment in terms of looking at the whole context of outsourcing? Because there was a strong preference by the CFO to look at the outsourcing. So what was your strategy? How are you trying to address that preference of the CFO?
Okay, so on the outsourcing pointers that we had, so we had 3 basic pointers to the management team. One is retaining to the customized process and aligned to the business vision. So since we had been built this shared services with a vision to have it, and the customized processes aligned to the business objectives. So the retaining the heart of the original why the SSE was being created. The model of outsource would have always been available at that point in time until now. So with that, the deliverables are the same that we have. The another concern that we have can be in terms of utilization of better technologies, and another thing, the improvement in terms of better technology and freeing up the leadership. So the skill set would be used to the project management role, and the use of technology can be handled through the innovation committee and other things, wherein we can take the technical expertise of the resources, but then retain the processes within the facility. So we take the advantage of better technology, but then the core transactions remain with the SSEs. Thirdly, since we are mapping it as a business analytics and warehousing hub, the essence of the transactions has to remain, since it has most of the sensitive business details that you have, which are core to the business objectives, and having it in-house would be a greater feel. And lastly, we have positioned ourselves to be agile and cost effective, and we always put ourselves as giving the efficiency of at least 25% better than the outsourcing with added value benefit in terms of cost and other things. So if the objectives of transactions are meeting, if from a cost perspective we are better, and the added value benefits that we output, we believe that management would be able to rethink on the outsourcing activity.
Just a quick follow through on that, because you're talking about a lot of things to be developed in the shared services in terms of the capability, in terms of the technology, etc. What is the kind of overall time plan you have in the mind to achieve the overall outcome from this initiative?
Would you like to?
Even if you're speaking, you're on a mute.
So, in same room, so what we are talking that overall time period of process, but we would like to start with
Sorry, it is breaking. Maybe there you guys are logged in on two systems there. There's a bit of an echo, so maybe you can just log off from one system or reduce the. I think there's an echo. We can't hear you. Yeah. Would you just like to try now to respond to the question?
Is it better now?
Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
So what we are saying that the overall time plan is 18 to. So we would like to start migrating processes one by one. Next month, we have identified the processes can be migrated along with working with team. So we identify a couple of processes. We plan one by one in next 18 to 20 months.
Yeah. Okay. I think it was still a bit of a disturbance there, but we could manage to hear the thought process. We're talking about 18 to 24 months. Thanks for that response. I think with this, we have reached the overall time for your session. Thank you, the team VBS, for sharing your story and thought process and approach. It was nice. Thank you. With this, we'll move to the next team, and all the best to the VBS team. The next team is team Wellspun Global Services. Do we have a Wellspun team on the call?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not able to switch on my video. It shows that the host has blocked it.
Please try it once again, Parag.
Yeah, I think now it's working. Okay.
So, Parag and Saurav, yeah. Can we have the slide for Wellspun, please? Okay, good. So your slide is on the screen now, and your time starts now. Over to you.
Yeah. So good evening, jury members, and thank you for letting us give this opportunity. We have made a very crisp one out of it, purely encompassing against the title, which is Transformation of Cost to a Capability Center. And since we had the case study, we did mention about this is a more of a matured captive shared services, which has passed its gestation period of 2 to 3 years. And now that they have reached a plateaued scenario, the company is more or less in a situation of worry that how do we transition the whether we hold the services back with the captive share service, or do we move it outside to a scenario. So we just picked up 3 simple key PPT, what we call as people, process, and technology, and that is these are going to be our key levers to transition or transform it. So quickly moving to the people part of it, as we read in the case study as well, people were not motivated, and that is the result that if I'm doing some redundant job activity, so I don't find any value in that job as an employee as well. So how do I do that? So it generally starts from right from the top. So we need to have we have a plan to have a focused value driven leadership, which will also mean that a visionary who can actually drive to maintain the tempo which is going on in the shared service, rather than just having a mundane transactional activity. While we do that, we also need to focus, or which we would focus on, the structured learning and growth for an employee. For me, probably a vertical growth within the organization may not enrich me as much, which would give me a lateral movement or a change in towers, or moving to what we call in our world as value lab, which is nothing but process excellence. So how do I channelize or engage the employee around that? Then when we say channelize employee engagement, we purely mean as apart from my daily work routine, how is it am I going to keep the employee engaged? One is by telling him in what organization he is working and how he should be proud of or more or less organized about. And then you have smaller levers which help the employee. So it could be work-life balance, so recognizing them for their smaller achievement. It could be R&R sessions, or what we practice in any captive share service is the make the best use of process excellence, which is white belt trainings, yellow belt trainings, which enhance them within the company, or even if they move out of the company, they leave as a cherished ambassadors of the company. So that was more on the people front. Then quickly on the process front, it should be a result-oriented KPI-driven SSA. Without that, any process would fail. And coupled with that, since you are in a captive shared service, you need to maintain a certain level of governance and stakeholder management. While doing that, since we are again pushing on lean approach of shared services as well. Now, these two, people and process, wouldn't work if technology doesn't support you. So having a great sense of adoption of RPA and artificial intelligence will help this. That will give us the productivity leverage also. Impact, if I quickly look onto it, that integration of service functions, which drives synergy benefits for any shared service, and the shared service generally always acts as a catalyst for growth and efficiency. So a standardization benefit, which eventually leads to a cost benefit as well. So in and all, if we summarize it, so this people process technology will strengthen my position, and then that is the impact which we are going to drive on as we move along to 18 to 24 months period where we are going to stabilize the operations there. And that's the reason deliberately we didn't add any value in terms of rupee value or dollar value to our proposal. And as a team, we firmly believe that this is what is going to drive us to closure of this. Thank you.
Thanks, team Wellspun. I think you have covered your thought process and your story pretty much within the time. I request if my fellow jury panelists have any question to check with Wellspun.
Thanks, Rakesh. I think I have a question. Thanks for the presentation, Parag. I'm curious, when I look at your aspects of the process, which is result-oriented KPI, governance, delight, these would be components even in a cost center, right? So if you're moving from a cost center to a capability center, what has really changed? I wasn't clear about that. Because if you're looking at a presentation on cost center, even then we would have had similar process components, right?
Yeah.
You would still be KPI and governance and stakeholder delight. So what is really different as you're transforming your shared service centers?
So yeah, Smriti, just to add on, just to answer your question on the process part, the reason we have deliberately put as KPI driven because if we go through the history of this shared service center, they have been reaching a plateaued stage where they have been doing the regular jobs in a very capable scenario, but there is no value addition coming out of them. And value, to capture any value addition, if I don't measure my SLAs and KPIs, only then I'll be in a position to push forward the result-oriented KPI, which anyways as a third party or captive shared service, I ought to deliver. And why we mentioned governance and stakeholder management is that is what is going to delight my internal customers. So if I strengthen the process, then it enlarges the scope for me to do better and better around that. And then we added lean approach, which is more from a process excellence standpoint. To give a channel to my processes, because from a transactional processor, I might be doing it the best way, but process excellence, or what we call as value lab, is the team which actually shows me the torch, that in which direction I need to move. So if that answers your question.
Thanks, Parag. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other question? What's the kind of value or a business impact we're talking about in terms of, do you have any thought process in terms of the pound value, dollar value, in terms of what kind of a business impact this entire initiative will result into? And how are you addressing that part?
So Rakesh, again, a deliberate attempt from us not to put a value, rupee value or dollar value here purely because we are talking about a captive share service who has been there for some time, done the activities for the longest time, and they know what is to be done. They just need a direction. So again, we are moving back our direction to the process and technology part. If I have read the case study rightly, they do have the required technology and available tools. They are just not implementing that. So we want to first channelize and standardize that, and then look at value, rupee value savings out of that. First, we stabilize the process because we are at the stage where probably the business might get pulled back and transactions might move to a different shared service center. So we focus first on stabilizing and then running the show that way.
Sure. Okay. Thanks for your responses, Parag, and thanks to the team Wellspun for sharing your thoughts to the challenge. Thank you for your time. And with this, we'll move to the next one. And this is also the last in the list. This is Team Whirlpool. Do we have Team Whirlpool on the call? Yes, I can see Sashank, Raja, and Kishu. You are from, if your guys are speaking, we can't hear you on mute.
Can you hear us now? Are we audible?
Yeah, you can hear it now. And
all right,
slide is on the screen now, and Team Whirlpool. So your time starts now. Over to you.
Good evening, esteemed jury and our fellow competitors. I'll start right away with the problem statement. So what we understood very clearly is that the center is not doing pretty well in terms of generating the value which the leadership is looking for. Attrition is high because the morale is down. There are not so many opportunities available to the employees, and which is why there is a saturation kind of an environment which has been created, why people are not finding it suitable in terms of more of a career option. So the strategy for us that we have adopted was how we are going to create an environment where the FSCC would move from just being a shared services partner which is able to meet SLAs and KPIs to a value generation center. That is also going to be an important factor where we are going to focus on creating a pool of talent which is going to allow us in terms of taking the center to the next level, because the problems that we are facing right now is that people are disengaged. Transition could be a problem because of the kind of situation that's going on across the world. There can be drop in service levels because people are not motivated. We may will have to reskill the people to keep them motivated, at the same time making them focus on the SLAs and KPIs. And the most important factor, customer experience is not that great. So the solution that we thought that we're going to opt for is that we are going to focus on three major areas. First, that would be the project management, which is going to be a very strong pillar for us to deliver the value. And starting with that, what we have agreed upon as a group is that we go with the consolidation of the two centers. So the complex processes which are working at the head office, we will bring them together under one umbrella, and we're going to take the FSCC to the next level journey where it will be converted into a value delivery system. Basis that, we're going to bring in fresh talent in terms of L&D partners who will help us create robust processes, SOPs, exception trackers, refresher trainings will be done for the talent. We're going to bring in project manager who's going to help us lead that particular project in the right direction with the necessary control which is required. Then the next would be how we are going to do the retention of the talent. So that's what we have agreed upon, is that maybe some retention bonuses would be the key, along with the communication that we are going to do to the larger audience in terms of what is coming to their way. Even if we choose between outsourcing or a captive business strategy, in both the ways, people are going to maybe lose the job or will be offered a new skill which they will find difficult to acquire on. So that's the reason upskilling is going to be the another key factor that would be focusing on, where the L&D team would come in to the benefit. Basis that we'll be creating the customer experience which will be required, because we'll also be gathering the feedback and understanding how things are moving on. And getting the next and the most important benefit would be automating the redundant processes with the help of RPA and different technologies available, and taking the existing processes to the next level by applying CI bent of mind, lean processes, DMAC, Six Sigma projects, which will allow us creating that value which is required for us to take the center to the next level. Now I invite my partner who's going to take us through what is the impact that we foresee by applying this particular solution that we have come up with. Over to you, Kishu.
Thank you so much, Raja. My name is Kishu. I'm from Team Whirlpool. Putting together, 2 or 3 thoughts while we look at this business case is, understanding what is our financial productivity, which is going to come out of this business case. Again, looking at business partnering and then transforming through transitions, deploying RPA, CI tools, which will basically give us cost optimization, building this center to a more formed, capable center. So what we understood is, from a business case standpoint, the shared service center right now has the capability in-house to look at the current transitional processes, and also, they have considerable confidence.
Kishu and the team, I think, Raja, and this is time. So the second budget is on, so we'll have to interject you and stop you. So now we have the time for any questions from the jury panel. So checking with my, Smriti, you have a question, please.
Thanks, Rakesh. Thanks, team. I was just curious. You say that you're going to transition complex finance processes to remove excess capacity. So are you saying that your current center has excess capacity? And if there is that excess capacity, at what skill set are they? And the complex finance processes may be actually at a different level of skill set. So I just wanted to understand that.
Thanks for the question, Smriti. Smriti, that's the reason why we were more focused on getting the talent also from externally from the market. So the people who will be hired externally would be the ones who will be leading these complex processes, and people who are still taking care of the redundant or the regular finance processes, more simpler in nature, would be the ones who would be given opportunity to upskill themselves. Because as a team, they still would be able to add that particular value and learn that skill fast enough. However, from the leading standpoint, we would still have people coming from the external market who would have the necessary experience and would be able to lead the processes without any service level dips.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Any other questions from any of the jury lead? Rajesh, you have a question?
No, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I think thanks, Team Whirlpool, for sharing your thought process and the story. It was very nice to hear that, and the way you talked through some of the pointers and your responses. I know it was a long wait for you and your team in the entire session of the day. And I can tell you a very interesting point before we move to the next very interesting session. And I'll be, as I mentioned, I think the next 10 minutes is going to be another great opportunity to hear some perspectives and thought process from someone like Sanjay Gupta. We all keep waiting to hear from him. He's the Chief Architect for Shared Services Forum and a thought leader, a leader who brings a lot of perspectives together and actually challenges many of the perspectives many times. And nothing new that Sanjay and I sometimes go on and on for hours, talking and deliberating on the same point, sometimes beyond midnight, and difficult to many times get converged on a same perspective. So, and I think one of the points we had was also about, I can share with you very, very honestly, all of you, is that when you have a 3.5 hours of a session and one after other presentations happening, we all can say the first few had their own advantages. Some in between had their own advantages because they have already heard something from the first few and the kind of questions. And the last few have more advantages because they were already through with the kind of questions. And there could be a counter argument by saying, the last few had a disadvantages because the first few already talked through some of the important points and so on and so forth. So that's a kind of perspective. And I can tell you this was an interesting point where Sanjay and I deliberated for a few hours. And then finally we said, okay, everyone has an advantage and a disadvantage. It's about how you, and there you land your point. So with this, I will request Sanjay to take it over from here and share quickly some perspectives, how to look at the same case story, what should be some of the thought process you should keep in the mind when you look at a case story like this. And also it will be a good time, and I'm sure all of you will be ready where the voting is about to start. So over to you, Sanjay, and I'm sure the host will announce the voting link. So over to you, Sanjay.
So, hi, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm hoping that you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Wonderful, thank you. So hi and very good evening to everyone. And at the outset, I must admit that this has been one of the most enriching sessions that I have personally attended, because the perspectives that I got from listening to 18 different leaders and leading organizations all across were really enthralling. It was great to hear different perspectives, and especially great to hear the way these businesses are thinking in terms of how these services and service centers are going to be being used for the benefit of the organization as a whole. At the outset, the one thing that I do want to say is that there are no correct solutions. From the little experience that I can share with you, I've realized that there are no perfect solutions to anything. And this term, best in class, in my opinion, is a little hyped, because everything is contextual, and one has to look at best in the context in which one is. Situation given was a very hypothetical situation, simplistic but very hypothetical, with certain remarks being added so as to induce the teams to think in terms of mere simple and simplistic insourcing, if I can use the word, from the head office, and being in a way greedy to take in the additional more lucrative processes, if I can call that lucrative, so as to expand your energy and become a much more important individual in the organization, or a service center in the organization. So it is contextual. None of the answers are true reflection of what the situation might bring. None of the answers are wrong, but some of the answers are more complete, if I would say, than the others. And that also is again contextual, because it all depends upon the situation and what is. Let's go back to the problem for a minute and see what was the problem. The problem was that this is a 4-year-old center. And the 4 years, the center has become a super specialist in the areas that it is. It's clearly a finance center. And in the finance businesses, it's become a super specialist. It does excellent work around AR and AP and reconciliations and everything around GL processes and payables and employee-related reimbursements and everything else, which are so core to financial centers. And it does very, very good job. The other thing that we've learned from this problem is that it is very good in knowledge transfer. It has a very nice, well-established knowledge transfer process by which every process that gets introduced into the center gets disseminated very, very well within the teams. Any new employee that gets hired gets onboarded very quickly, and the learning process spreads very, very quickly and becomes a part of the program presentation in a very professional manner. So those are the two things that we've learned. What we've known that we want to do and what the center wants to do. If I was a leader, I want to move ahead and I want to go ahead and do a much better job. I've been told that becoming a capability center is a great activity, and one must get into becoming a capability center. But capability center has its own meanings. Capability center means for what? For everything? Should be like in everything, and it has 350 FTs in the head office. 260 of them are already with me. If I was the head of the unit, that is. Should I now bring in more and just be simple with it and say, okay, that's fine. All I have to really do is get these more people into it, and then I can become a true capability center. Is that it? Now, for example, we can do a lot. I mean, we can, for example, we can become a lot more expert. A lot of people have already said this. We can become an expert in what we do. Squeeze the towel a lot more and say, all right, let me bring in robotics. Let me bring in process efficiency and some other tools like, you have Six Sigma kind of tools, Lean and Six Sigma kind of tools, etc. They will bring in certain benefits, and you'll become a lot more excellent in the process that you also become experts. For example, upstream processes, downstream processes, your understanding about the linkages, etc. and all. And finally, you become innovation centers where you actually begin to advise the businesses and say, guys, this is what is needed for us to correct and become a lot more expert and a lot more improved as a service center. But my view is that if you do all of this, you continue to remain a glorified and a well-performing service center. And therefore, we need to come to what the unstated problem is. The unstated problem for any service center head is that we need to be a significant and a strategic contributor to the organization. And we need to become a strategic asset. And to that, an indicator or a signal is, do I have a seat on the table? This is a very common and often stated statement saying, I want a seat on the table, etc. But what does it mean to be on the seat on the table? I should be listened to. My view is as important as the other important business people in the organization. So if there is a business head who's making a decision or is having a conversation, I want to be a part of that conversation. And therefore, I can't be relegated just to a service center position where I am only asked if there is a service need. Otherwise, I'm not being referred to. And I need to move up the value chain. So first thing, it's a small service center. The service center has only 260 people out of the total 350. The pie is not really very big. But nevertheless, given this pie, I want to become a very important person. And how do I do it? So I have to look at what are the assets that I have. What is it that is my strength? And if I look at my strength, the strength is that in the businesses that I do, I'm fantastic. I do very, very well. However, and by the way, there's another thing that I do very well. I do a lot of very good knowledge transfer program. That means I learn and I teach and I become an expert. And I also do L2, L3, L4 levels of processes. So I'm really very good in those. However, the CFO doesn't think too much about me because I'm a mere service center. And I need my first step to be able to tell the CFO, boss, please depend upon me. I'm a great guy. I know my work. I know how I do these things, but don't look at me only as a transaction center. Please look at my capability. What I have done till now cannot become the limiting point of what I am capable of doing. How do I convince the CFO? Of course, there are many, many ways. My view is that some of the ways are obviously looking at the processes themselves and seeing what are the fringe processes. Every one of you is a finance specialist, and you know that there are no isolated processes in finance. Every finance process, for that matter, every process is somehow or the other connected to every other process. And therefore, the entire business chain becomes one continuous link, or at least a complex web. And there is a connection between every process to every other process. And one has to really understand the organization and the flow of the organization to be able to leverage that and take the advantage. And I think that is the first step. How does the organization that we lead, that we control, which is the center in Pune, become a piece of the larger pie? So get to understand the linkages, go to the fringes of the process and say, can I become an expert in those processes? How can I contribute in those processes? The second method that I find is BUs, the business units. Remember, there are no finance people in the business units. The business units could be anywhere, but there are no finance people in the business units. So the entire supply of financial information and financial data is given by either me or a little bit by the head office. And therefore, can I leverage the business units and the business heads? Can I partner with the business heads up front and saying, forget it, boss. Don't think of me as only as a service unit, but I am a provider of information and I am a contributor to the business in which you deliver. And even if the business units don't really understand this too much, then obviously, you begin to engage a lot, but use that route, because CFO cannot be your limiting guy. You cannot be limited only through the CFOs and say, the only route to me, for me to reach the head office is through the doorway of CFO or through finance department. That's a limiting thought in my view. One has to really look at how you can expand and do things which are outside this. Another thing that I can think of is that why should we restrict ourselves to only providing services in in finance? And some of the contesting teams have already talked about looking at processes which are outside of finance. Many of these centers already do it, and it is important that we introduce this thing into our center. Our center, 260 people, all finance. Just because I am a finance guy and because my reporting boss is probably the CFO doesn't mean I'm restricted to finance. If I have the capability, if I have the intention to becoming a strategic asset to the organization, my first aim should be, what can I do to expand the scope and become a lot more valuable to the organization as a whole, not to the CFO alone. And therefore, I don't know, again, contextual, HR processes, tech services, operations of some sort. I don't know, it's a manufacturing company, so there'll be limited operations that I can get into. But nevertheless, there will be formats that we can use. There will be areas that we can ponder up and knock the doors on and saying, Mr. CHRO, is there something? I'm just using HR as a case in point. But if the CHRO is capable and he's understood how the finance shared service center says, I'll create a wing for you for the finance, for HR functions. I'm already doing payroll, for example. I'm already doing reimbursements and stuff like that. Can I manage your HRMS, for example, and create value for you using your HR thoughts? So that could be another way that these organizations can think to combine. The entire story that I'm trying to make is that there is one way that this thing is likely to become what you're intending to do. And that I call one flag. When I'm saying one flag means I am not a service center in isolation. I am not finance in isolation. I am a cog in the entire organization, but entire organization. And the entire organization means it's the enterprise that I have to think of. I cannot be thinking of my organization as in my service center, Pune-based service center, and say 260 becomes 300 balle balle. That cannot happen. That balle balle at 300 is a wrong statement. You may become 300. You may become a lot more than 300, but that cannot be the aim that you start with. You have to look at the organization, and we must be enterprise focused. Enterprise focus means thinking about the organization, even if it means that the center in Pune is disadvantaged, even if it means there is a reduction of some sort, even if it means the value that you may attribute to the center is lesser, but if it benefits the organization overall. And that mindset is extremely important. Are you thinking enterprise or are you thinking my center? Are you thinking me? Are you thinking we? And we here means the enterprise as one, and not necessarily just the center. And therefore, migrating businesses, which is a great thing to do, migrating businesses cannot be because you want to increase FTs. There have to be other reasons why you want to migrate businesses from the head office into. The minute you get into thinking enterprise, there is a mindset change which is required. For example, we talk about customer orientation, and then we get into this very big question on what is a customer. As a service provider, my customers are the BU heads who are all over the world. But is that true? If I was an enterprise officer, then my customer is the guy who's going to buy my products, the guy who's the consumer of the product most likely. If an FMCG product, then certainly the buyer is the consumer, and I will look at those customers as my customers. So every action that I do must have a customer impact. And if it does have a customer impact, then I will think about every process change around the customers, even if it means, thinking very differently from just the BU deliveries. Same is the case with goals. Of course, all my processes are already under red, amber, green. All my processes are already green, more than green, all that stuff. But that cannot be my limitation. My goals have to be corporate goals. If the process that I do does not have an impact on the business goals, whether it is acquiring more customers, or it's a top line goal, or it's a bottom line goal, or whatever else it has, if it doesn't have that, then obviously the goals that I set for myself are very limiting, and we must create larger goals. So that's an important. Same is the case with governance. Same is the case with compliance, for example. I mean, there is compliance that we have to look at for ourselves, and obviously compliance as for a finance function is a very, very serious activity, because it has a lot of exposure linked to miscompliance. However, you have to look at compliance not just from the point of view of your center, but your finance, but the organization as a whole. And there may be a shift in the mindset. So outsourcing, question was given with whether outsourcing was an important feature, whether we should look at outsourcing or not. It's not really important whether you finally go and outsource. Why would you want to outsource? Why does the CFO even think that outsourcing is a great place to go? Because obviously there are advantages in outsourcing. There's a big list. I don't want to go into all of that, saying what is the big list of outsourcing. But if it is required, the point that we have to make is that in the project plan or in your thinking, did you even think that outsourcing was an option? And even if it means detrimental to the interest of the organization, but can you go into an outsourcing model and then do outsourcing, which does not mean that I'll lose control, because you're not going to lose control. It is going to be my center which is going to outsource, not the head office. So the control and responsibility continues to remain with me. Same is the case with technology. These board members, fancy guys, they want all high-tech technologies to be put into the place, etc., and they're willing to make the money investments and stuff like that. I don't think that's necessarily a very good idea. You need to put context into place, and blockchain technology, great for a blockchain technology, but it's a 350 finance center. I mean, billions of dollars will be, dumped into this blockchain or whatever technology you want to deploy, and not necessarily get the benefits out of. So what we advocate at all time is integrated technologies. How are we going to be using this? Do we even do an audit of the ERP? A very large part we've seen of the ERP deployment is underutilized, misutilized. So do we even do an audit of where we are on the ERP deployment and utilization, and get some kind of a blended program out of it? So I will conclude now by basically just saying 2 or 3 very simple things. First, there has to be some principles that we have to define whenever we think about this. 3 principles I can think of. One is contextualize everything. It has to be in the context of where we are. We are basically a small finance organization. We are a small organization. I'm not a 1,000-man center is only 260 FTs. So there just has to be something very important. If 260 people means you don't need to outsource because it's a very small, highly manageable. Nobody in outsourcing world will even consider 200, even if I was to outsource the entire thing. But nobody will really, take this very seriously. Of course, some part of it can be done, etc. So contextualize. Second thing, think enterprise. Organization has to be the one goal that you have to think of, and all the programs that you do has to be at the organization level. And the third is think holistic. Think of the whole process, upstream impact, downstream impact. There are some people who gave the 360-degree impact analysis, but 360-degree impact analysis is very important. An activity that we do over here, how does it impact my customers or the company's customers, the shareholders, the employees, the providers, the government, the social sector, the environment, for example, etc. All of that. So one has to, really consider this thing, and then finally, three-pronged strategy. Get the CFO to be a part of your organization. Make sure that he understands my current performance as well as my potential. Apply enough thought on specialization, whether specialization is myself or whether it is outsourced to a third party. That is a contextual thing one has to think about. And finally, keep the end game in mind. The end game being very simple. I don't have to own everything, but I do need to put a process in place where I need to be excellent in the transactions that we do. I need to own the transactions. I need to be really superlative about it. I need to be an expert. Those experts, for example, these new processes that are with the head office right now, I need to be an expert in these new processes. And finally, I need an innovation program. I need an innovation center to establish myself that the processes that we are doing, are continuous monitoring, continuous change, continuous innovation, and are in the right path of improving themselves so as to continue to give us value as we go along, etc. So with those parameters in mind, your programs should be defined. And that's what we meant when we said that this is a program. Now, a lot of steps can be created out of this, but the strategy that I've tried to talk about now is about being a part of the larger organization, being a part of the enterprise, and not lessly confined to myself being a head of a 260 FTE center. So that's about it. Thank you very much. And I'll now pass this back to Rakesh. But before that, I think the voting lines have now opened. And oh, sorry, the voting lines have now closed. Thank you very much. I thought the voting lines just opened, but I was so passionately involved in the conversation, I didn't realize the voting lines had opened and also closed. So anyhow, back to you, Rakesh. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sanjay. Thanks, Sanjay. I think it was quite insightful as always to hear from you. And I think, of course, I missed a bit of your address because there are a lot of actions which was happening at the back end all of a sudden because of this whole the scores were getting compiled and then the kind of votings were happening, and I was pulled in because to get a quick check on the live votings as well. Because the jury votes have come, it was easy to compile, etc., etc. But I think from an audience choice point of view, what happened was all of a sudden in the 3 minutes and the time which we gave 3 minutes, we actually extended. I know there are some messages coming in saying, oh, we couldn't. It was supposed to be a very short period link to be opened, and that's the way it was. If few of you have missed to vote, I think we can just say, I mean, we are sorry about that. I think that's a part of the game and the process. But the beauty is we have received more than 1,000 votes. And after deduping also, that's a kind of number. So what we were doing at the back end was also deduping, because we realized that some of the leaders were able to very quickly find the means and ways to vote twice from the same email ID, and the backend was doing that deduping. So the deduping was done completely, and after that, still we had close to about 1,960 or 980 votes. I think the interesting thing is that the kind of numbers of the votes which we saw, and I think this is where I just got this sheet now, which says that the number of people registered from that company versus the number of votes, there's a stark difference, which means that you might have only say 30 or 40 people participating from your company, but the votes may be in tune of 150, 160, which means that the other organizations also have very much responded to the votes, which is important, because it was just not limited to the your own organization voting for it. At least the top 5, that's the way we look at it, because I asked for that quick metric to just share with me the number of participants logged in from that company versus the number of votes. So is that it's all about the people in the same company, or is it also beyond that? And I think at least the top 4 or 5, it shows at least the 3 is very clearly a huge difference in terms of the number of people logged in versus the votes. But before getting to the audience choice award, I think now time is to announce the winners. We have got all the scores from the jury, and the scores are compiled, the winners are identified, and as we go to announce the winners, I'll request all my fellow jury panelists to switch on their videos if they're there, so that yes, yeah, good to see you, Rajesh. Good to see you, Anand. So before we just go to announce the winners, one thing which is important is, I think we received a lot of other messages in between too from some of the jury members, that many of the presentations where a lot of interesting thoughts have gone into it. A lot of efforts have gone into it, and the way the team has come together to prepare for it and summarize their solution, and the passion which has been put behind it. So if they are not even going to appear in the top 3, I don't think it is anything as a reflection of the quality of presentation. It is not the reflection of the intellect they bring in, or anything to do with the kind of work they are doing in their organization. Because this was a hypothetical case story. This was completely to do with what you presented in the context of that case story, and it is not about what you're doing within your organization. So this is not anything to do with what you're doing in your organization. Just wanted to bring that up. And a lot of passion and effort has gone into it. And all of us feel unanimously that a great effort, and congratulations to each one of you for pulling this together and the way you have come across to share your thoughts and strategy and strategic impact. Before I go with the typical order of the first runner-up, the runner-up, and the winner, and the audience choice, that's how we will do it. And I'll request one of the jury members to announce it. I would request if anyone from the jury panel wants to say something before we move on. Anyone from the jury panel wants to add something based on the experience today. I think Rajesh, you want to add something? I can see you being unmuted.
No, I wanted to, one is really thank the Shared Service Forum for organizing this channel. Having been in this industry earlier in my life, I think that this is a very real life challenge that all the shared services leaders struggle with. And while while we have been critiquing or looking at different type of solutions, this is the most difficult part of the business. I hope that I have learned a lot, and I hope that the other participants would have picked up different components from different strategies to see what would work in their own environment. Because eventually, while it is a case study competition, the objective of the Shared Services Forum is to create more capability amongst all the participants. So I think this was a very great effort by all participants, both in terms of preparing the material as well as presenting it today. And I think want to really thank Shared Services Forum to organize something like this.
Okay, thanks, Rajesh. I think absolutely. I think these are those opportunities to bring the industry leaders together and learn from each other. I think that's the motto and the ethos what we live with. And I think we were very successful today with that. I think Mr. Purang, you want to say something, please, over to you. You are, Praveen, you are on mute.
Sorry, my apologies. I actually wanted to comment the manner in which the whole process has been conducted, because initially I was very apprehensive that for 18 people to complete in every 4 minutes, is it going to be feasible or we are going to extend the time, etc. But I think the credit goes to the presenters also. They were able to manage within it. And of course, most of the credit goes to Rakesh for moderating the whole thing in such a manner that we have been able to keep the timelines. Thanks to Palvi in the back office that she has been able to put it up, everything together. And I tell you, for me, it is a great experience to see such a kind of a thing happening well within the time limits that we thought of, which were appearing to be extremely difficult. So all the best, my compliments to the entire team for this.
Well, thank you, absolutely. And I think all credit goes to the backend team. I was just trying to manage the session here. I think a lot of work which was happening at the backend, I think Pallavi was absolutely leading it minute by minute. Absolutely. Thanks for those kind words. If Smriti or Rohit, you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I think what Rajesh and Praveen have said is absolutely spot on. The process has been handled beautifully. The teams came together very well. And I was just reflecting for everybody over a weekend, at least at the start of the weekend, coming together, that kind of a commitment. And, Sanjay Gupta said something about think enterprise, and I'm thinking country. And I'm saying, if everybody's putting the thoughts together, since all the teams, I assume, listen to each other's presentations, this is also working a bit like a think tank, right? And India really created a very solid position for itself as, the back office capital for financial services. And these kind of case studies really, Rakesh, that a shared service forum has come up along with CIMA, and thank you to CIMA as well. I think are fantastic to get everybody thinking, and it is going to become a real situation, like Rajesh rightly pointed out. These are the frontiers that we want to get into. And we all came together as a team and did that very interestingly. So it's not that just one organization was thinking about it. Multiple organizations had the same problem. And we saw the point of view of what everybody was thinking on this. And I'm sure if we get back into the analytics, we'll see that some are very common threads, that there are at least 3 things that everybody was doing, So lots of learning, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself, interesting. And really kudos to the participants to come together with this kind of a commitment and passion to get into that continuous improvement and innovation for whatever you're doing for your businesses. So many compliments to all of you, and absolutely thank you to Shared Service Forum and CIMA for putting this together.
Thank you, Smriti. Rohit, you want to add something to it?
Just Rakesh, thank you once again, and I echo whatever Smriti said. This is a burning issue for most of the shared service center. And the challenge we all have is we are so good at it in terms of accounts and finance. We always look at it in one perspective, in one dimension. Listening 18 different teams must have given everyone a food for thought. And like Smriti and everybody else mentioned, kudos to you and your team to come up with this kind of a case study, because it's pretty much relevant in today's time. India really at one stage wanted to come out of being called as a call center hub. now from a finance hub to next level. I think this is the journey we all are on, and apt time to discuss it as a group. So thank you again.
Thanks, Rohit. Really appreciate those kind words. Anand, any quick comments from you? And then I think everybody is waiting for the names to be announced, but quick words from you, Anand.
No, I'm fully conscious of the excitement that has been building up, and some people may have the butterflies in their stomachs and all that. But for me personally, also, it has been a very, very rich and at the same time humbling experience. Listening to so much brain power in one session, and kudos to SSF to live up to its own reputation of being a forum for the practitioners and by the practitioners. And that was coming throughout very, very clearly, the kind of perspectives we were getting. And special gratitude and thanks to CIMA as well for having supported this and announced something very, very interesting for the participants as something that is very valuable to each one of us. And most importantly, all the teams, the way they have come up, the way they have prepared and then delivered, it was nothing short of very, very impressive, and in some cases absolutely outstanding. So we'll come to know the results very soon, but my sincere thanks and compliments to everyone. It is one of the most impactful event that we have witnessed in this sphere. And even from technology enablement and all that, all the capabilities of the platform and the people managing it from backend and all that have been stress tested today in a manner that gives us a lot more confidence for the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Anand. Thanks everyone, and all of you. It was an excellent evening, well worth spent, as we all were talking about, a lot of learning, a lot of exchange of thought process. Without taking any time further, I will request both Sanjay and Pallavi, if you can come on a video, please. Thanks, Sanjay. Thank you, Pallavi. Okay, so now we will start with the announcements of the award. Can we have the second runner-up? Okay, so second runner-up is Team Tata Steel Finance Center of Excellence.
Congratulations.
Very well done.
Team Tata Steel. I don't know if you have anybody from Tata Steel. If Sushil, you are still there on the call.
Thanks, Rakesh. Thank you so much. Thanks to Shared Services Forum and the jury for this recognition. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to the entire Tata Steel team. That's the second runner-up, and of course, there are some gift vouchers also, as you know, besides the certificates, etc., which will be also shipped to you. I mean, there'll be a plaque, etc. I think the next one is the first runner-up. So can we have the name for the first runner-up? Oh, this is Team Barkadia Services. Congratulations to the Team Barkadia Services. If you have anyone from the Team Barkadia on the call.
Yeah, thank you, jury, and thank you all the panelists for giving us the opportunity. And we were thrilled to participate and represent Barkadia in this forum. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Vishal, and the entire Team Barkadia Services. Time to celebrate over the weekend, right? Now, this is the time to have the winner, please. And can we have the name of the winner? Okay, this is Team Inca Services, which is Team Inca Services IKEA.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Team IKEA, Team Inca Services. If you have somebody from the Team Inca on the call.
I'm here, Kaushik, and Charan and Sukesh are here. You guys want to go first? You didn't have much air time. Can you please go first? Sukesh, Charan. Maybe some technical problem. We are thankful.
If you're speaking, you're on mute. Yeah, Sukesh, go ahead.
Hi, I'm here.
Kaushik.
So Kaushik or Sukesh,
Yeah,
you
very
want to
thankful.
yeah.
A wonderful event. Thanks.
Kaushik, we're not able to hear you well. Maybe Sukesh, you want to say something?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So thanks a lot for the opportunity to listen to everybody. And thanks a lot for choosing our proposal, our presentation as the best, among which we are, I think, not very far away. All in all, it was a good experience. We took a lot of learnings by hearing others, some very good thoughts and eye-openers for us as well, especially Tata Steel and the one which were first runner-up. We were really hoping that they might be the best ones, but I mean, glad to be the winner for this. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Absolutely, and a lot of compliments to the team, the way you came across in terms of putting your thoughts together. And I think even the summary slide was very well created, presented. The stream of thoughts were very clear, and I think some of the responses to the questions were also very clear. So thank you for the kind of effort and the passion you displayed, and all credit goes to the entire team of Inca Services. And once again, heartiest congratulations. The time to celebrate, which starts tonight, and you can continue over the weekend.
Thank you, Rakesh.
With this, we come to the last award of the day, which is the Audience Choice Award. And so can we have the Audience Choice Award on the screen, please? Okay, this is Team ABEX, which is Adani Group. If
Sudesh,
if we have Adani Group leaders on the call, it will be good to hear from you. Do we have anybody from Adani on the call?
Sudesh here, Rakesh.
Yeah, Sudesh.
Hi, Sudesh. Yes, we can see you.
Yeah. So I think, thank you for this opportunity. And, it was actually a very, very fruitful and very insightful session, Rakesh. So, heard lots of new things and lots of different things from different practitioners. So award is one thing, but more than all of those things, it was more for a learning for us, and we actually made good use of this opportunity. So thank you, Shared Service Forum, and thank you everyone for this recognition. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, congratulations to you, Sudesh, and the entire team of ABEX, Adani Business Excellence, and the team has done a great job. I think you were pretty much neck to neck also on the jury scores, but then the kind of voting you could receive from the audience was phenomenal. I must share with you some metric. You got more than 30% of the vote.
Okay.
So more than 30% of the vote, it means that close to about 300 people voted for you.
So most of my team members were logged in, and
but interestingly, it was beyond your team. So we also did an understanding from metric point of view by saying how many of your colleagues voted versus the other organization. I think a lot of other organizational colleagues have voted for you. Until unless they voted by mistake, but they voted for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything you deserve it. So very well. So once again, congratulations and best wishes, and have a great time and a great evening and a great weekend ahead. With this, we come to towards the last leg of the event, and this is the time to express gratitude to some of the people who have been behind making this event successful. I may start and maybe even request Anand, if you want to add further to it, you can please add to it. I think, first of all, our esteemed partner, CIMA, and Bhaskar, thanks for coming together and encouraging us to think of a concept like this, think of the case story. And we were like, we always wanted to do something which is new and different. So we spent time, actually, Sanjay and I spent a lot of time to even craft that case story, evolve that story, and then put the entire process together and so on and so forth. So thank you, CIMA, and the entire CIMA leadership, Bhaskar and others for supporting us. And I think thank you also for that certification, the digital mindset codes and the kind of gift vouchers. I think I really appreciate that gesture. With this, I think also I will take this opportunity to express a lot of gratitude to all the esteemed jury panel members. I think finding time amidst your busy schedule, I think still we call it towards the weekend, but I know with this virtual world, 6:30 is not the end of the day, because you are still expected to be at the work, you're still expected to respond to your emails and messages. And given the kind of a role many of us play in our respective organization, we have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things which requires urgent attention, which requires immediate responses. So taking time out for close to almost like 3.5, 4 hours, it's not easy. And a lot of gratitude and sincere thanks to each one of you for taking that time and spending this 4 hours with us. And this is not just 4 hours, just to mind the people who have logged in. The last weekend as well was another time where all the esteemed jury panel members were busy looking at your presentations. And believe me, when it's 12 pages into 20, it is that kind of a number. And it was not like a cursory look. It was diving into some of it and then filling up. I will say it was not so easy Excel file. It required some application, some 10 parameters and so on and so forth. So finding that time, filling that information, sending it out. And I can tell you, on top of it, at least, if not more, 20 calls from my team and 20 messages from our team. So I think Pallavi would have been constantly reaching out to you by saying, okay, by what time you're going to send it, etc., etc. So thank you for patiently bearing us and gracing this occasion, and also providing your insights and contribution as a jury panel member. So thank you, each one of you. Thank you, Mr. Praveen Purang. Thank you, Smriti Ahuja. Thank you, Rajesh Garoria. Thanks, Anand Maheshwari. And thank you, Rohit Kharbanda. Thank you, all of you, for a great support to this event. I think this event could have not been successful if we had not received the kind of overwhelming response we have got from the participating organization. The way you guys raised your hand by saying, yes, the moment we announced the event, you all just came in and said, okay, we would like to participate. In fact, there were a few more organizations who were keen to come in and participate, but at a point of time, we said, okay, now we'd like to keep it to this number, and maybe we will have another challenge sometime soon where we can have a different topic and so on and so forth. We can look at it. So we wanted to restrict to the X number for this challenge. And then the way you adhere to the entire process which we laid out in terms of submitting it on time, we gave some tight timelines. We restricted the way you have to present the entire story, the 12 pages, and the way the content has to flow, or even giving us the one slide, because we wanted this one slide to reach us by Wednesday late night. And I think it was absolutely complying to all those processes was phenomenal. Even today during the session, the way you came across, switching on your videos, maintaining some of those hygienes. And I can tell you, I think in the last 1.5 years, at least one thing which has changed in me is every virtual call, or even sometime while talking in family on a dining table, I keep asking, am I audible? Am I audible? Because so much of virtual calls, the first opening statement sometimes is this, is am I audible? or ये slide दिख रहा है मेरा and all stuff like that. So at least none of us were doing that as we were part of these sessions, and I think it was pretty well managed by each of the participating organizations. So a lot of compliments and congratulations to each of the participating team. I know some of the teams would be feeling a little disheartened that, at the end of the day, winning is winning, no doubt. But I must share with you all that the kind of document which has been created, the kind of story which has been created by each one of you is phenomenal. In fact, we are going to create some analysis out of it and share it back with the participating team as a story by saying, what kind of, like Smriti was talking about, some common themes, right? How we should look at these common themes, what more, and as Sanjay was talking through, we'd like to bridge this two together and come out with some thoughts as a part of a story. This brings me to the end, and I must take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the team which was working at the back end, working day in, day out, with a lot of efforts, focus to make this event successful, very ably led by Pallavi Jaiswal. I don't see her on a video. Pallavi, if you can switch on your video, it will be helpful. I think she has been absolutely in control, pretty much leading on every aspect of this event. And I think a lot of compliments to you, Pallavi, for the way this event has been managed. And congratulations to you and your entire team who has been working on it. I think I will also take this opportunity to express thanks to Sanjeev, Naveen, and other colleagues who have been working in terms of Nikita. I think some of your team members who have really worked on this entire event to put together. Thank you, each one of you, for making this event successful. And Sanjay, thank you for all the articulations and everything, keeping us honest, if I can say. Many times we'll go beyond the scripts and you will say, are we going beyond the script, right? So I think thank you, Sanjay, always to keeping us honest. With this, it comes to the end, and thank you, each one of you, and have a great evening and a great weekend. And the winners, please do enjoy. I think as the saying goes in Delhi, that if you're a winner, you should celebrate. If you're not a winner, still you should celebrate. So cheers. Take care. Good evening.